Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Ariel Helwani Show!
Back in your life on this Monday, May 12th, 2025. Hello again, everyone. I sure hope you're doing well. Hope you had a lovely Mother's Day weekend. If, of course, you celebrate. If you're in the UK, I think your Mother's Day was like 6, 7, 8 weeks ago. But listen, you don't really need a Sunday in May to celebrate your mom or someone who has helped raise you, who has been there for you. But it is a good reminder to do so. So if you were in the Northeast, you enjoyed a beautiful Mother's Day, and I hope you were able to be around loved ones. And I kind of love Mother's Day because, well, I love my mom and I love my wife and I love my grandmother, and I think that mothers are the most incredible and unbelievable human beings on the planet. But it also sort of feels like the beginning of a great stretch of holidays here in the United States. Well, you have Victoria Day coming up next week in Canada, Memorial Day, July 4th, Saint Jean-Baptiste, on it goes. Basically, what I'm trying to say is the vibes are high. We're going to Game 4 tonight. Backs against the wall, up 2-1. Everyone's off the bandwagon. Can't wait for 7, or is it 7:30? I'm not sure. But anyway, I'm very excited. I'm talking about Knicks Celtics. Anyway, you don't care about that. You care about UFC 315, which has come and gone. It happened in my hometown of Montreal, Quebec, Canada. And I'm so excited to be here on a post-pay-per-view Monday. Why? I got a lot to say. I don't even think they're hot takes, but I got a lot of fiery takes. I got a lot of things that I want to say regarding the aftermath of UFC 315 and regarding the analysis of what transpired, in particular in the main event. By now, you know that the pride of Perth, Western Australia, the very first champion to hail from that part of Australia, Jack Della Maddalena. Don Giacomo Jack Della Maddalena is the brand spanking new UFC welterweight champion. He defeated Belal Muhammad via unanimous decision. A tremendous fight, a fight that was way better, way more exciting, exhilarating, entertaining than most people predicted. Back and forth they went, a bloody affair. The scenes afterwards, the lip, the eyes, the blood, all that stuff and more. They really delivered. They stepped up and put on a classic, one of the best title fights of the year so far. I know it's only May. We're approaching the midway point. They delivered for the somewhat sleepy Montreal crowd because the co-main event didn't exactly deliver. No harm, no foul. Sort of the kind of fight that I think a lot of people expected between Valentina Shevchenko and Manon Fiorot. By now, you also know that Valentina is still the reigning defending UFC women's flyweight champion. And in the end, I think it was a pair of fortuitous results for the brass. Now, we're going to get into all of that and more, talk about the aftermath, talk about Aiemann Zahabi's somewhat controversial win over Jose Aldo, talk about the Canadians going 4 out of 6 on Saturday, 4 wins, 2 losses, not bad at all. Talk about what's next at welterweight. We got a lot to discuss. We also have to talk about what transpired earlier in the day on Saturday in Belfast, Northern Ireland. It was PFL Europe, and it was highlighted by their own Paul Big News Hughes, returning and putting on an absolute show, winning in just 42 seconds, getting up on the cage, crying, emotional, calling out Usman Nurmagomedov the best way possible. Our own Pete Carroll was there, front and center. So we got to get into all of that, plus the news of the weekend, plus some talk on Alex Pereira, International Fight Week, a lot happening. On the program today, and this is going to be a loaded week, my friends. We already have everything planned from now until Wednesday as far as guests are concerned, and it's banger after banger after banger. On the program today, back into the show, the aforementioned Paul Hughes. He'll stop by to talk about the big win over Bruno Miranda, where he goes from here. Is it going to be Usman? Is it going to be someone else? I sure as hell hope it's going to be Usman. It's the biggest fight that they could put on right now. I'm talking about the PFL. Prior to that, we're going to be joined by Hulk Hogan, a.k.a. Terry Bollea, Eric Bischoff, and Israel Izzy Martinez. They have come together to launch Real American Freestyle Wrestling, a promotion which will highlight amateur collegiate freestyle wrestling Some have tried this in the past. This is a total shoot, no work. They announced it a couple of weeks ago. It's the wrestlers who are, done with collegiate wrestling, done with Olympic wrestling, amateur wrestling, and don't want to go down the path of pro wrestling or MMA. And they want to try to see if they can take the baton. It's never really been successful, and allow those individuals to earn a living. Now, we have seen this in the past, most notably with real pro wrestling. Didn't work out. The likes of DC, Daniel Cormier, King Mohammed Lawal, some 20 or so years ago were a part of this. It didn't work. They tried to institute promos and all this stuff. We'll see if the Hulkster and Eric Bischoff and Izzy Martinez, who is really the plug to getting a lot of these guys to sign up, including Ben Askren. Ben Askren's going to be a part of it. Kyle Dake is going to be a part of it. Among others, they've only announced around 10 or so people so far, maybe 11, 12, something like that. And so let's see. We're going to find out about it. And I am looking forward to that as well. Prior to that, we're going to be joined by Aiemann Zahabi to talk about the big win over Jose Aldo. What a moment for him, the people's main event. He delivered. Again, somewhat controversial. Upon watching it live, I thought Aldo had won the first 2 rounds. I thought clearly Zahabi won the third, but golly, it got a little dicey there in the third. He got nailed with a kick to the head. And most normal human beings go down, break in half when you get kicked like that by Jose Aldo. He did not. He gets the win. And afterwards, Aldo quasi-retired, and then he essentially put a period on it all on Sunday on social media. We'll get into all of that. And then prior to that, Sean Brady is going to join us. He was front and center in Montreal, angling for the number 1 contender spot. It appears to be between him and Ian Machado Gary, but Issa Makhachev might trump them all. We're going to see how this all plays out. We have a lot to get to on this Monday, May 12th. I can't wait to do so. First things first, let us give both Jack Della Maddalena and Belal Muhammad their respective flowers. First, we have to say, how about Australian MMA? Second show in the span of a month that a fighter hailing from Australia becomes a UFC champion. Last month in Miami, it was Alex Volkanovski defying the odds and once again becoming a champion at 145 pounds, regaining that title that he, helped put on the map. And then it was Saturday, again, first fighter hailing from Perth to become champion. It's JDM, who had not fought, it's worth repeating, who had not fought since March of 2024, his fight against Gilbert Burns. Went through a litany of serious injuries, especially on his forearm, multiple surgeries, all that stuff and more. Was supposed to fight Leon Edwards in March, comes in there and does the job in such impressive fashion. And in doing so, by the way, became the youngest welterweight champion since GSP won the title back in Montreal many, many, many moons ago. Sub 30. I believe he's 28, 27. At worst, 29. But there he is with the title. A man of few words, doesn't like the pomp and circumstance, doesn't like the hype, doesn't like the buzz, doesn't, just does the job. Someone that I think a lot of people from Australia would be very proud of. And like I said, it was a great fight. It was a tremendous affair, but I have been somewhat blown away by the analysis in the aftermath. And I think the analysis in the aftermath of this fight has been pretty damn disrespectful towards JDM and pretty damn disrespectful towards Belal Muhammad. Because the main narrative that you are hearing after this fight is, why didn't Belal shoot? Why didn't Belal try to take him down? Why didn't Belal stick to his bread and butter? Why did Belal try to prove a point by standing with JDM? Why did he divert and change, the style that got him there? And I'm seeing this from smart people, from fighters, from smart pundits, and I'm like, did you guys watch the fight? Did you watch the fight or did you just read about it? Did you watch the fight or did you just follow it, follow along on social media? And I will never claim to be a coach, a fighter. I'm not sitting there at a screen doing telestrator stuff. I'm not doing the circles and all that. I've never been that guy. I will never be that guy. But I've watched a lot of fights and I know what's in front of me. Belal Muhammad didn't change his style. Belal Muhammad didn't try to divert from what got him there. Belal Muhammad just fought a guy who is incredibly big, incredibly strong, incredibly long, and has some pretty damn good takedown defense. This guy, Belal Muhammad, shot 9 times. So I keep hearing people saying, like, why didn't he shoot? He shot 9 times. He landed 3 of those. And if you actually look at the stats actually bring up some pretty telling numbers. 3 for 9 as far as takedowns are concerned. Shot once in the first, shot 3 times in the second, shot 3 times in the fourth, landed his first in the fourth, and then twice in the fifth, for a total of 3 out of 9. If you go back to his last fight, Belal Muhammad's last fight, the Leon Edwards fight, he was 9 for 13. The 13 is a high for him. He was 9 for 13. He completely dominated. He said, "We're gonna beat this guy up. We're gonna smother him." It was the perfect game plan. Okay, let's go to the Gilbert Burns fight. Prior to that, you know what the takedowns were in that fight? 0 for 0. Now you could say, all right, he's going up against a jiu-jitsu guy. Maybe he doesn't want to engage. He doesn't want to, put him on his back. All right, I get it. You know what his takedown stats were against Sean Brady? 0 for 0. All right, you can say, Sean Brady's a great wrestler. Like, why are you going to engage with him? All right, fine, I get it. Prior to that, Vicente Luque. You know what the stats were for that? 5 for 10. Just one more takedown attempt than Saturday. 25-minute fight. Just one more. You know what his stats were against Stephen Thompson? You know how many takedown attempts? 9. Now I know, 10 minutes longer, fine. You can add a couple. But like this idea that he didn't shoot or that he averages, 20 takedown attempts, and I could keep going and going, but just look at the stats yourself. It's on UFCstats.com. He had to go to plan B because of how good Jack was on his feet, because of how long he was, because of how strong he was, because of the distance that he was keeping. He couldn't get inside. You think he wanted to stand and trade with him? No. Forget about all the Canelo hand stuff. He knows exactly. You think he's going to make it to this point, knowing in the back of his mind that they didn't want to give him the title shot against Leon, knowing in the back of his mind that if he did slip up and fall, he ain't getting another crack, an immediate crack. He didn't successfully defend the title once. You think they're going to give him another crack anytime soon? Absolutely not. You think he's going to say, you know what? Now's the time that I'm going to show that I could stand and trade with the best of him, one of the best strikers at 170. No, he ended up meeting a guy who has really good takedown defense. We learned this on Saturday, and who's just really big and strong and long, and was able to keep that distance. And perhaps most impressive, he wasn't just throwing 1s and 2s. Was Jack Della? He was throwing rights and lefts and right hooks and left hooks and uppercuts. He was coming at him with 3, 4, 5, and 6. Watch the fight again. Why didn't he shoot for more takedowns? Why didn't he tried. He was unsuccessful. And so here's the thing about Belal Muhammad right now. I think some of you are thinking that I'm going to come here and be happy that he lost and all this stuff. Complete hogwash. One thing that I've been very proud of, and maybe I'm wrong, maybe you think otherwise, but I feel this in my heart. Since I've been doing this, I think I've done a pretty good job of separating how I personally feel about people and covering them fairly. I have to do this on a daily and weekly basis as it pertains to UFC President Dana White. Separate personal history and just cover them as a sports person, as a sports entity. And so, yeah, of course, I don't like and appreciate some of the lies that Belal has told about me, saying that I don't invite him on the show, saying that I don't want him on the show, when I've tried to prove otherwise, when I've brought receipts. I don't like some of the things he puts out there, lies, propaganda, things like that. I'm not a fan of it, but I'm able to go and separate the two and say, this guy on a Monday needs to hold his head high and be extremely proud of how he fought. The punches that he took, the damage that he took and kept on coming and didn't give up. And it was up in the air in the fifth, according to one judge, two judges up in the air going into the fifth. One had it 49-46. I scored it 4-1. But according to two judges, it was 2-2 going into the fifth. He didn't quit. He kept on coming. And I see people in the aftermath saying, one of the worst champions of all time. Are you out of your mind? Look at the names I just mentioned. Leon Edwards, Gilbert Burns, Sean Brady. How good has that win looked over the last, few months. It has aged beautifully. Vicente Luque, Wonderboy Thompson, Damian Maia, Diego Lima, Lyman Good. These are incredibly tough fighters. I don't know why people feel this way about him as a fighter. Like, look, is he the most flashy fighter? No, but like, it is workmanlike stuff that from this side of the table, you can only appreciate and respect. And I said it. When they went to Colby instead of him, he was getting screwed. When they tapped Khamzat, Islam, they tried to do a whole bunch of fights for UFC 300 to knock him the title shot. I said he was getting screwed. And then he got the job done. And in fact, Leon's performance against Sean only made that performance look even better. Wipe away the middle of the night stuff. I was the first to say it on the Monday. He just met a really good, and maybe people feel this way because Jack doesn't talk a big game because he didn't have a ton of hype surrounding him. He had not fought in 15 months. I don't know what it is, but the notion that he's one of the worst champions ever, the notion that he's one of the least talented champions in recent UFC history is absolute nonsense. It's unfair. He deserves a lot of respect. He deserves a lot of credit. He met a guy who had the perfect game plan and was able to thwart his attacks, and he had to switch gears, and he almost pulled it off. It was down to that final round. He wins that final round. He's still the champion on this Monday. Come on. Rewatch the fight. You got to respect him. And by the way, in doing that, in saying that there were no takedowns, you're also disrespecting Jack. You're not appreciating what he did out there. Fought brilliantly. No cage rust for this guy. Said afterwards, yeah, the time off actually helped me because I was able to not beat up my body so much and really focus on the task at hand. All right, cool. Look how good he looked. Looked incredible out there. Incredible fight. In my opinion, front runner, top 5 best fights of the year, certainly up there so far. Back and forth. And there's obviously a ton of intrigue as to what's next. Because in the seconds after the fight, look, I've never bought this Islam and Bilal, our best friend stuff. I'm sorry if that offends anyone. I've never bought it. And case in point, literally seconds after they say and knew, Islam's tweeting about fighting Jack. Now, is it Islam? Is he up at 7 a.m. watching this? I don't know. But he seemed pretty happy about the result. Maybe someone told him, or maybe the person that tweeted it afterwards said, oh, wait a second, maybe I should show some love for my quote unquote brother. So then he tweets, head up. And then he goes back to tweeting about Jack saying he's going for that second title. You are not Volk. I will show you different level. Keep my belt clean. Now, the question that I still don't understand on this Monday, because we had joked that Dana White was going to show up at the press conference with a piece of paper and say, all right, as a result of Saturday night, as a result of this result, as a result of this main event result, here's the headliner for 317. Well, he didn't show up to the press conference for whatever reason. And so as of right this second, 1:18 p.m. Eastern time on Monday, May 12th, we still don't know the main event for June 28th. It's never been this late, but we're all waiting anxiously. And so the part that I don't understand is, why can't it be Islam versus Ilya? That fight is in, I think, if my math is correct, something like 46 days. That date is in 46 days. And then, win or lose, Islam walks on. He goes to 170. It's not like Jack's fighting in a month and a half. And it's not like fighting in a month and a half puts you on a different timeline. It's literally in a month and a half. It's pretty darn close. Like if you fight on June 28th, you can easily come back in October, November. So that's the part that I don't want to get. And Islam said late last week, hey, I'm going to move to 170 if the results kind of, swing my way, i.e. his friend losing, but I'm going to keep my title. Again, I refuse to believe that Ilya is fighting for an interim title or a number one contender fight. And especially when, as of right now, they don't have a main event for International Fight Week. According to what I'm hearing, what Magomed Ankalaev tweeted was in fact accurate. They did in fact call Alex Pereira and say, hey, we want you to fight Magomed Ankalaev on International Fight Week. Ankalaev tweeting this yesterday afternoon. I was offered to fight Alex International Fight Week. If the man don't want it, let's move on. I'm ready for everyone. I dare you. It's not that he doesn't want it. Unavailable. Timeline not working. This is the guy you're going to question. And so this is the guy who fought 3 times in the span of 6 months last year, 4 times in the span of, I think, 11 months. The plan was August. But now because they're scrambling for whatever reason, they said, hey, let's see if he's available in June. And so, yeah, I hate to say it. I don't think he was hacked. I hate to say it. I think he was disrespected. I hate to say it. I think that was him that tweeted that. Or at least he told someone to tweet it. And I hate to say it, he should feel that way. He should feel that way. Because what happened was, and this is the tweet that I'm talking about that happened, that went out Wednesday while we were on the air. I always answer the UFC's calls, but if they want to play with me, we can do that. I've never spoken poorly of the UFC, but with what I've just heard, I'm disheartened. I've always had thoughts of not fighting anymore, and after what was just relayed to me, this may be the start. What did they relay? Did they say, hey, maybe we're going to go in a different direction? Hey, maybe we're going to give the title fight to, one of your rivals, to the next man up? Maybe someone that you beat a couple times? Did that piss him off? Oh, we're going to move this up 2 months? Yeah, that would piss him off. Bottom line, hopefully we get some sort of clarity to all of this, and I do think we will this week. Lord help us. And then right after that, we'll find out that Aspinall and Jones are fighting at Madison Square Garden. But there's a lot to digest. There's a lot to take in. It was just myself and the man in the hat on Saturday for the post show. Pete was in Belfast. The boys had just done the watch party. And so that means all the takes are very fresh. Here they are. Hello, boys. How are you? PT, top of the afternoon, top of the evening, actually. 6:22, right?
Nobody says top of the anything over here. I just want to clear that up immediately. But how are you, lads?
Top of the morning?
Nobody says that shit. I don't know where that came from.
Oh, governor.
That's
okay. That's right, Frank. Yeah, a lot of fights on Saturday, huh?
A lot of things happen. A lot of things have transpired, and there's a lot to get into. Let's start with the, hey, why didn't Belal shoot any takedowns? This thing drives me every time, every corner that I look on the internet, he didn't shoot takedowns. He diverted. I've said my piece. PT, what do you make of this? Because I think this is incredibly disrespectful to Jack. It's not appreciating how good he fought, and it's also disrespectful to Belal. He tried and had to divert because of how good Jack was looking out there.
Yeah, and he was also, Jack was also just throwing a lot up through the middle, between phases of the fight. Even if things weren't happening, he was just showing them knees, showing them teep kicks, showing them everything that, if you come in here and shoot a double leg, you might be eating a KO. He was constantly spamming knees, uppercuts, just throwing feints to make Belal unsure. So, I don't understand how people watching fights for so long just think you can run across and without setting something up, just explode into a takedown and it's done. There's a lot more to it than that. I thought Jack did a great job of staying dynamic, of showing him his weapons, not exactly extending himself, not throwing these things 100%, but just constantly showing him, here's my knee. This could meet you in the face if you want to try and get around my legs. Here's an uppercut. He fought brilliantly. Both of the lads fought so well. It was a very, very entertaining fight. But credit to Jack, credit to Belal. He was part of this fight as well. I think he rallied in the fourth. First round was close. I had every other round. I had the first round for Jack for what it's worth, but I thought it was a very close round. Had Belal win the fourth, but thought Jack was absolutely brilliant. Let's not forget that GC is the only one out of our whole staff, I believe, that picked.
Was I the only one? Not only that, I also went 5-0, got every single one of them right. No big deal. I mean, Jack Della.
Yeah, well,
this is an old school Jack Della shit. This is from the UFC debut days. I mean, come on, we've been riding Stadium for a while.
All right, so take your bow right now. Your guy did it.
Yeah, he did it, man. He like Pete said, he fought a brilliant fight. The takedown defense was tremendous. I do agree with you that people saying that Belal didn't shoot any takedowns is obviously incorrect. He shot for almost 10. He was able to get some success with them in the fourth and fifth rounds. I guess you could maybe make the argument that he should have gone to it earlier, that he should have been shooting more throughout the entire fight.
Allow me to make that argument.
Okay.
Because I disagree with you. I think he should have been shooting takedowns earlier.
Yeah, I know, but he shot for 4 in the first 2 rounds. There was a big Aussie lad in front of him that was not allowing him to get close.
Yeah, not all takedowns are created equal, though. Like, the takedowns that he was going after in the later rounds were more deliberate and more intentional. That's not to say that if he shoots for takedowns that he will have any more success, because to your point, I think Jack Della deserves a heap of credit for how his takedown defense looked in this fight versus his previous performances, right? Like the skill, the new attributes that he was able to display are very clear. And it was not going to be Bilal Muhammad just like rushing into takedowns and taking him down. But if you ask me, should Bilal Muhammad be primarily standing on in front of Jack Della for 3 rounds in the opening 3 rounds? The answer is no. The answer is no. It should have been more takedowns. But as I said, I don't know that equals success ultimately. I don't know that Jack Della isn't able to stop it and probably still win that fight. But I think the game plan was not great.
What's most incredible to me is how much Jack Della improved on the takedown defense. Yeah. I mean, he got taken down 7 times or something by Gilbert Burns. He
7 for 11.
Yeah, he got taken down, I think 3 times by Basil Hafez, who was coming in on short notice and was debuting in the UFC. So going into the fight, it felt like the game plan should be clear for Bilal, and the fact that JDM was able to thwart that was wildly impressive.
I love that moment. That moment, I think it was going into the 5th round. They go. It was shades of Leon Edwards against Kamaru Usman, his head coach.
The Australian version.
Oh my God! Actually, I believe he's British. Benny Vickers saying to Jack, what was the quote? The quote was something like,
"Keep banging that cunt" or whatever.
Yeah, that guy. It's you're 5 minutes away from realizing your dreams. Stay safe. Keep banging that cunt. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. Like, there's just so much there. It sounded like a dad telling his kid, like, go have fun tonight, but freaking, don't do anything I wouldn't do, but just keep going strong. And the guy did it. And there's something about him, like, he's just so relaxed. The walkout, I saw another video that highlighted this, like, he's walking so far ahead of his team, and he's almost like walking to the beat of AC/DC, TNT. But there's nothing like flashy about him.
He's chilling.
He doesn't want to be a celebrity.
He's walking out to the park, man. Like, he's just like whatever.
Even his face, like, he looks workmanlike, right?
Like, he's just like cranking the neck. Like, he's not too hype. It was incredible. It really was. And I think on top of that, another reason I've fallen in love with him is when he ends up on his back, like he did in the 5th round and like he did in the 3rd round against Gilbert Burns. He has that like Derek Lewis-esque about him where he's like, all right, I'm just going to get up from this. Yes. I'm completely flat on my back. I'm just going to push you off, get up, and change the course of the fight.
And you talk about the calmness and the coolness under pressure and the composure. That's now 2 fights in a row where it could have been lights too bright, opportunity to just pack it in, especially in that Burns fight. It seemed like it was one-way traffic. Now, I believe, unless I'm mistaken, that the scorecards were actually 1-1, but I think a lot of people thought Burns was kind of controlling that fight, and then he comes out and wins that 3rd round decisively. He has shown that he is in the fight and capable of winning fights regardless of what the circumstances in the early rounds, and to be able to be dangerous late. He's got championship medal, and he is now UFC champion.
The swag was coming out a little bit too, like when Bilal threw the spinning stuff, and then he sort of mimicked it back at him, started having fun. Bilal feinted a takedown, and then he did like the way overreaction, like feinting the takedown back. Like not only was he comfortable, he was confident in that.
I wonder if deep down, look, I think the criticism that Bilal has received is unfair, but I do wonder if he can be critiqued for this. I wonder if he kind of looked past Jack. He was supremely confident going into the fight and everything that he was saying, and he was kind of feeling himself as well. But I wonder if he felt like, look, this guy hasn't fought in a year and a half. I'm the man. I'm going to do what I did to Leon. I completely, stifled, stuffed every single attempt that Leon was trying to throw my way. It was all me, one-way traffic. I'll do the same to this striker. And was sort of surprised by how good Jack was, how much better he was, a lot younger, of course. I wonder if deep down all of that got to him, because, like I said, I think the revisionist history is unfair. I think he's one of the best welterweights in the world. I think the win over Brady is only going to continue to age better. Maybe they meet down the line as well. And I also feel like he isn't going to get a crack at this anytime soon, especially if his very close friend Islam becomes champion.
Right.
Because, I mean, that's it for him, right?
Yeah,
I mean, it's dead end.
We talk about the block for Islam moving up being Bilal. If Islam gets champ, then he's the
That's
block
it.
for Bilal getting the shot again.
Yeah. And so what do you guys think happens now? What do you guys think happens? Because we all thought we were going to get the answer.
Yeah, in regards to who? In regards to what? International Fight Week, 170, 155, all the implications from that one.
All right, well, as a result of Saturday's main event, what's the main event for International Fight Week?
Ilia Topuria versus Charles Oliveira.
Does anyone else think it's weird? Why don't they just do Ilia versus Islam and then he gets to move up after?
That's what I think.
If what we're being told is accurate, if Bilal would have won 48 hours ago, Islam was fighting on June 28th.
Yes.
So he was ready. He was good for that day. But now he can't? I don't understand this.
He's also trying to keep titles and stuff like this. It's all very confusing.
If they were going to do that, they would have already announced it, though. So I think the plan was. I think he wants to go up to 170 right now, not risk taking another fight at 155 so he can get the double champ status.
Oh, I understand that. But
I'm saying I think that's why he doesn't want to take the 155 fight right now. He just wants to go for double champ.
I think you're asking, wouldn't the UFC still want that fight? Which I ultimately agree with. I think the UFC
if
would.
You told us you were good to go on June 28th, then just do that fight, and then win or lose, you move on to the 170 guy.
All this tells me is that Islam Makhachev has clout that Ilia Topuria does not. That's all this tells me. Islam Makhachev can call his shot, can say, I want the 170-pound belt, can say on Twitter publicly, I'm not giving up my belt, and he can choose his own destiny. Whereas Ilia Topuria, hey, we need a lightweight title fight. We need a featherweight title fight for Miami. Your belt's got to go. And he doesn't have that clout yet, and Islam does.
Do you believe that if, in fact, they do Ilia versus Charles, that Islam will hold on to the title?
Yes.
And
I think they'll do vacant.
Yeah. They'll do vacant.
I think they'll do interim.
What a
I think
letdown.
they'll do interim. I think they'll do interim. I'm sorry.
Ilya
do interim.
will have...
I don't think they should, but I think they will.
Ilya will have vacated an undisputed title to fight for an interim belt.
Yeah, to fight for an interim belt and an automatic shot against
he will have gone
the
punk.
double champion.
If it means, though, he is now tied to Islam Makhachev and that is his next fight after that, it's fine. It's worth it.
I don't believe that he's going to go to 170 and come back down to 155.
But then vacate. Then you do vacate. Then you take
I know, but I agree with what GC is saying, and that he won't want to do that because he wants to have double champ status. And I think...
But he'll get it.
He'll get it, but I mean, I think he'll tease the idea, I might come back down here, and then we're holding up a division. We've seen this before. I think we're headed straight for it.
I think this is how I would handle it if I was the UFC. I think Islam Makhachev has earned the respect and deserves to be able to have this double champ status. You win the 70-pound belt, you decide. After that, you decide. You're the 55 and 70-pound champion. You choose the weight class. You will be the champion of that weight class. The next one gets vacated.
Why didn't Ilya get that same respect?
He's not there yet. Islam Makhachev is the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world and has been racking up title defenses for the UFC. Ilya just got here. That's why. In my mind.
He also said he couldn't make the weight anymore. I don't think we've heard that from Islam yet, right? He hasn't said, I cannot make 155.
You're half right, Rick. I agree with what both of you are saying. The other thing is they needed a title fight.
They needed a title fight. It's all the schedule. It's always the schedule.
That was the other thing working against them. Okay.
Right.
All right. So you guys think that it's going to be Charles versus Ilya, and you think it's going to be interim title.
It's possible it's vacant.
I still think it should be Islam versus Ilya for the undisputed title.
Here. That's the fight. Surely, lads, you want that.
I'm still holding out hope. Yeah. They're saying what they think is going to happen. But then my next thing is, I just have a hard time coming to terms with the fact that Ilya will be fighting for an interim. So then I think it will be for the vacant title, and they'll say, look, you're the guy. Everyone knows who you are. Just go up there and fight him. Here's the question, or at least the next question. If you're Sean Brady and Ian Machado Gary, do you have to just kind of say all right, Islam's clearly, going to get this shot. He's the guy. Timing's off. We got to fight each other?
If I'm Ian, I want that. If I'm Sean, I probably want it, but I wouldn't be as keen. I'd be less keen than Ian.
Ian Gary has said as much, that if Islam Makhachev moves up to 170, everyone is just going to have to step aside and let him go for the double champ status. As far as him fighting Sean Brady, Ian Gary has talked about every single 170er in the rankings except for Sean Brady. He made the video and laid out the whole plans for all the people in the top half of the division. And he didn't even mention the number one contender, Sean Brady, who has been relentlessly calling him out. Like on the weigh-in show, he called him out 3 times. He posted a video on his social media calling him out after his performance against Carlos Praches. So I want to see that fight. I think that would be a rightful number one contender fight, despite Sean already having the number one next to his name right now. But the way that Ian Gary's talking, it feels like he's avoiding
That's the fight
the
to
matchup
make.
with Sean Brady.
If Islam is fighting JDM,
Where's Shavkat fit into this then?
Yeah, exactly.
That's the question.
Do we have a timeline on Shavkat? Because
That's what I need to know.
170 is
Because
crowded.
if I'm Sean Brady, there's a real chance that we don't see Shavkat for a bit. Who knows? It seems very like murky at this moment. And if somebody falls out of a potential fight between Islam and JDM, I want to be the guy that they call. And so that's why if I was Brady, I'd feel pretty good about my position and not rush into a fight.
I have no issues with Islam getting a title fight. He has earned that.
Yeah.
If he wants to move up, but it does, to your point, GC, come at the worst possible time for this weight class because there is such a logjam of top guys up there. Like you can make a very strong case for Shavkat, obviously, for Ian, obviously, for Brady, obviously, and there's a very good chance none of them are fighting for the belt, and also there's a very good chance none of them are fighting for the belt this year, right? If JDM is coming back, most guys come back 4, 5. Look at his face after that fight. 6 months later, that's it. That's 2025 wrapped up. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and so,
like October, Abu Dhabi.
and then that's it. He's not coming back 2 months later.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So the question then is, will it be? I think we see Shavkat either back into the year. I don't think we see him anytime soon. And so to me, the question is Ian versus Sean Brady. Do they make it happen? What a freaking fight! And then you determine. And by the way, there's so many permutations here. It's going to be so weird because even if it's Ian versus Sean, and then later in the year, JDM fights Islam, by the time all that plays out, Shavkat will probably be ready to come back. Does he have to now work his way back up because some time has passed and a new crop of people have turned up? Like that's a tough pill to swallow for him.
Unfortunately,
But
yes.
it might be, yeah.
Unfortunately, yes. It is all time. As we continue to have these conversations, and everything revolves around the timing, including Ilya's not holding a belt right now. It's all about the timing with the UFC. And so this will all shake out in one way or to the point, though, that we're sitting here and we still don't have an announcement for International Fight Week. It's past the point of ridiculousness, and it is all because of their schedule.
Dana didn't even go to the presser afterward.
Yeah.
We
that
didn't
is a
even
weird
get
one.
the
you and
press
Chuck reacted to
conference.
that in real time was absolutely fantastic, by the way.
We're going
Like,
even
he's
longer.
going to be here. No, it is Dave Shaw.
Well, at 170, you guys also, we mentioned all the top guys. If Buckley beats Usman,
Here comes Buckley.
he's going to be calling for a title shot or one of these number one
God.
contenderships. And then what do you do with Leon? What do you do with Bilal?
Well, maybe Buckley winning is the best thing because now you have 4 guys and they could
Okay.
fight
pair
each
them
other.
off.
You know what I mean?
Tournament.
You do a little tournament, Shavkat, Buckley,
I'd love that.
Gary.
Hey, that'd be
shit.
sweet. That'd be
It
sweet.
could occupy us for a year until it actually gets sorted out what the fuck is happening to the welterweight division.
by the way-
Fantastic.
But in that case, what would you do if Shavkat won and Brady won? Both of them would just have such strong
Strong
claims
case.
for the
Oh.
title at that
Can I
point.
give a hot take?
Yeah, rip it, man.
Oh, I love it.
We've gotten too comfortable putting people into title shots. Let them earn it. Let them earn it the same way Bilal did. Let them earn it the same way Leon Edwards did. We're talking about it as if these are foregone conclusions. Like, Brady deserves a title shot. Okay, prove it against Ian Gary. Okay, Shavkat, you had that unfortunate thing. Show me again. I think we've gotten too
No, this is what I'm
idea
saying.
that everybody deserves title shots is kind of just like we've entered the participation trophy area of title shots.
No. This is what I'm saying, though. I'm saying
Make them
if
fight.
Brady beats Gary and Shavkat beats Buckley in this world where they match up, it's like, who do you give the title to then? They're
Make 'em
both
fight.
incredibly deserving. Then make Shavkat fight Brady?
Make 'em fight.
You talk about earning a title shot. Shavkat will have already earned a title shot against Bilal, had to step in for
You
Brady
want
because
it?
of the circumstances.
Do you want
then
it or
fight
not?
Buckley, then fight
wanna
Brady
be a
just
fighter?
to get the
Do you
title
wanna be
shot.
a
You want to be a
fucking
fucking
fighter?
fighter?
This is getting ridiculous.
You want to be a fucking.
This is getting ridiculous.
We've reached the point where any one good win gets everybody a title shot. Now I'm over it. Fight. Let Ian.
Everyone stop chatting
Let
shit.
Ian and Sean fight. Let
Okay.
Shavkat and Buckley fight. Then, if there's not an immediate, easy opportunity to get a title shot there, make them fight too. Make the winners of them fight too.
You know what's amazing about all this? And I understand where you're coming from. Jack had to go through very little
Yes.
struggle. Like, he was just kind of there. Like, speak of the timing, obviously the injuries and he beat guys, but no one in their right mind would have suggested after the win over Burns, which got dicey, that his next fight would be for a belt.
100%.
He was literally booked against Leon. Like
Yeah.
the
He's just-
circumstances that he fell into to get that title shot and then capitalizing on it.
This is the
incredible.
game now.
You know what it is?
This is the game.
He's just a chill guy. He's
Just a chill guy,
a chill
man.
guy in the corner of the room at the party, and it's almost like he's the chill guy in the corner of the party of the room, and like he's not talking to anyone. He's not even caring about like making friends, making a scene. Took 2 seconds to pick out his outfit, but some way, somehow, the best looking girl in the room gravitates towards him, right?
Everybody was in
And
the
he's
middle,
just
like, pick me,
Yeah, yeah.
and then you look over and Jack's over there, and it's just
He's wearing like
damn.
some like old like crusty hat, and he's just like, yeah. So you want to go get a burger later? And everyone's like, how did he do this? And that's what he did on Saturday.
He did it.
He actually did that.
And then he
Chill
realized
guy.
his dream. He got there, and then he was the best dancer at the.
What a guy.
event. Incredible.
He really looks like a fighter, huh? Like his
Oh,
face,
yeah,
his
the nose
is
is-
just-
Everything about him. The side profile when he was fighting, it's jarring every time, just like how flat it is across his face because of the break.
And shout out to Craig Jones as well in his corner. He helped
on a
both
roll,
do the
Craig.
thing.
Figured out the Dagestani
Is
wrestling
he the best
methods.
striking coach in MMA right now?
Craig Jones,
Yeah.
What a guy. He's some cannabis, that Craig Jones. All right. So we have that whole situation brewing, and it has, win or lose, it was going to be some kind of a puzzle. Would we all agree that Valentina's win, which, was a little close there, and Manon had her moments, but Valentina has become very workmanlike in her own way, and high IQ, gets the job done, gets the victory. That was a blessing for the UFC, because now you've got Valentina versus Zhang Weili. If we were staring at Manon winning and a potential, Manon Natalia Silva title fight, or a Manon Jasmine Jasvicius, probably Natalia Silva, or maybe another crack for Valentina, doesn't have the same juice. The best women's title fight that the UFC could put on right now is Valentina Shevchenko versus Zhang Weili. And if I'm Zhang Weili, I don't give up my title. With all due respect to Virna Jandiroba, you make that champion versus champion a special affair. And yes, I know Amanda is coming back, and here's Zhang Weili, in front of the screen, a massive screen, by the way, gigantic, bigger than her, on late Saturday, early Sunday morning, wherever she may be. That's the fight to make. Let the rest of the divisions play themselves out. 125 is great right now, with Silva, with Jasmine, with others as well. And now all of a sudden things are cooking in women's MMA. You got that fight. You got Amanda fighting the winner of Juliana Pena versus Kayla Harrison. This was a blessing in disguise, with all due respect to the UFC. Does everyone agree with that? No brainer, right?
I actually don't even think it was in disguise. I think it was just a blessing. I think the opportunity to potentially have two double champs in both women's and men's divisions is good. When all we've been talking about lately is how we've kind of been starving for stars in the UFC, and the fact that we're going to get a super fight in women's between Valentina and Zhang, and if Zhang wins, you have a new double champ, which is huge for star power in the UFC. It's something that attracts the casuals at a big scale. So I think this is a blessing.
This has to be the fight, right?
Has to be. You cannot have this right
Please,
here
God.
and make Valentina versus Natalia Silva and Zhang Weili versus Virna Jandiroba. You absolutely cannot do it.
Like, if you can't make this fight, and by the way, I don't see any sort of resistance from either of them. If you can't make this fight, like, we've got a real problem making big fights.
These two don't feel like the difficult to negotiate with type, though, right? It does not seem like this is almost foregone conclusion. Just give them the date, give them the money, and they will show.
Yeah, even Dana himself, after the Zhang win over Tatiana Suarez, was like, yeah, I like this fight. And that was before this one played out.
All right, the two super fights of the year haven't been made, though. We should probably
That's
highlight
a fair
that,
point,
right?
Pete.
Yeah.
Ilya v.
That's a fair
Islam is
point.
not happening. Tom v. John Jones is not happening. And we're like, oh, this one's definitely going to happen.
But by the way,
Optimistic
it's
about
last
that.
words.
It seems like the easiest of the
But
three to make, no?
That's my point when I say, like, the easiest to negotiate with, right? The reason the Tom is John is not happening is because one side of the negotiation doesn't want to come to the table and agree to the terms. So that is the difficulty. I don't foresee Valentina trying to hold up the UFC or Zhang trying to hold up the UFC. But to your point, we thought it was all hunky dory, and it's not. So
We're 48 hours away from Virna Jandiroba, Zhang Weili co-main event of International Fight Week.
I will say,
According to Dana White, Dana White went live on his IG Live to announce the strawweight title for International Fight Week.
there are only 3 women's championships in the UFC, and for somebody to hold 2 of them does muck things up a little bit. I gotta be honest. I want the fight. Don't
I get
take
what
this
you're
as me
saying.
throwing cold water on
But you
it.
got to make it happen.
I want it. I want it. But man, afterwards we gotta free up a title somehow.
Do it in
like,
China
it's
or
just,
something. Give us
that'd be sick.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do it big. Do it in Kyrgyzstan.
Now, if you're Valentina,
Wow, Kyrgyzstan. that'd be
as the
sick.
champion who's welcoming the challenger, it's not that it's not been done before, right? But as the champion, do you go, I don't want to do it in China. I'd rather do it.
No, I know. They
In
probably
Kyrgyzstan.
don't. They probably don't, but it would be great, and it
it'd be
would
massive.
breed some life. Like the fight was lacking a little bit of juice, and I think it would pump a lot of life into both divisions. And by the way, 125 has been great. Like they've really really built that one up. Like it was for the longest time the thinnest, excluding 145, of course, the thinnest of the women's weight classes, and now it's become the best. And shout out to Natalia Silva and shout out to Jasmine Jasdavicius. They beat, two legends in their own right. Natalia Silva beating Alexa Grasso in a very sort of one-sided fight, and Jasmine submitting Jessica Andrade via a rear naked choke. Holy shit, she has really come into her own. It's beautiful to watch. Now, has anyone looked at this? If you have, you're excluded. As of right now, who's the favorite in Zhang versus Valentina? What do you guys think?
Man, I haven't looked, but I would think it would be Zhang
I think
by
so.
by a slight margin.
Yeah.
I saw a hypothetical line for Natalia Silva, Valentina Shevchenko, and Natalia Silva was a minus 200 favorite.
Oh,
Okay,
man.
what I'm looking at right now has Silva minus 142,
Okay.
Shevchenko plus 122, has Zhang Weili minus 145, Shevchenko plus 125.
I mean, after the performance on Saturday, I understand why there will be people who think that she is vulnerable to this now.
Yeah.
Like Natalia Silva's performance makes you believe that she can be a UFC champion in this weight class. And
Very good.
the level of activity, the speed, it's going to be a problem for anybody to deal with, especially, somebody who's also primarily going to want to stay on the feet. Now, maybe Valentina goes to the wrestling, but as we saw against Manon, like it was actually the opponent who was doing more of the grappling. I get it. And I'll say this, like Zhang Weili, I don't think is going to be thrown around by anybody in that weight class. So yeah, I totally get those lines. I would favor both.
Speaking of future lines, by the way, Jack Della plus 170, Islam minus 200. And after Saturday, like with the takedown defense and just how big he looked out there, I'd love to see it. Obviously, first and foremost, I'd love to see Islam versus Ilya, get it out of the way, and there's really nothing left for Islam to do at 155. It's right there. It will be gigantic International Fight Week. We're going to be there. I want it badly, but if we're not going to get it, I'm very excited about Islam versus Jack. And Jack did Islam a big favor, because if Bilal would have kept that belt and would have held on to it for another year or so, who knows what Islam does. There aren't a ton of fun fights left for him at 155. There's a whole slew of new challenges at 170 for him. Want to talk
one
about
last thing?
Yeah.
We talked about Jack like walking into the dance while everybody was like kind of over here, and now he's about to fight potentially the number one pound for pound guy. I mean, it's just like Jack has some
What
kind of
luck,
magic.
yeah.
What luck that he's come into.
Jose Aldo, one of the greatest fighters of all time. I thought squeaked that one by. I thought he won the first 2 rounds, and then, of course, lost the third. It was a brilliant fight. Somewhat surprising that it didn't win fight of the night, but I can understand with the main event being that damn good, and also he missed weight. Friday morning at around 8, Aiemann Zahabi's team found out that he was not going to make 135, not even close. There's a rule in Quebec, you have to be within 5 pounds, so they had to bump them up to featherweight. He didn't get a percentage of Aldo's purse. I'm talking about Zahabi, but the UFC did give him a better deal. He was happy with it, and he was in a lose-lose situation, really. Like, it was rock in a hard place, right? He says no, he doesn't get his Montreal homecoming fight. They hadn't fought in Montreal in 10 years. His whole family's going to be there. He loses out on a magical moment and an opportunity to fight a legend. He takes the fight. Now he's fighting a guy who didn't have to suffer as much as he did. When he got the call, he weighed 136.8. He had 0.8 pounds left. So he did the job, and Aldo didn't. But Aldo fought brilliantly, I thought, and had his moments and almost knocked him out in the third round, loses the fight. Afterwards, takes off the gloves, stops short at saying that's it, but then on Sunday posts a brilliant message on Twitter, really laying it all out. And if I'm being 100% honest, maybe a little bit emotional, tweeting, "This may have been my last time inside the octagon this week. I faced one of the biggest battles of my life, and it wasn't against an opponent, but within myself. Over the past few years, I rekindled the dream of becoming a champion once again. I trained as I always did, gave more than I ever had. But while cutting weight, something inside me said, you don't need to do this anymore. and I listened. It's time to move forward, to live for my wife, for my kids, to celebrate the story I wrote with every war, every belt earned through blood and faith. Thank you, Dana White and Lorenzo Fertitta. Thank you to the UFC. And most of all, thank you, my fans. You were the fuel behind every walk to the cage. You made me a king. If this was my farewell, know that I leave in peace with a heart full of gratitude and my head held high. Because I made history, because I lived my dream, because above all, I stayed true to myself. Jose Aldo. I get chills reading that because he is one of the most beloved fighters in the history of the sport. Everyone adores him. And when you consider the fact that he was knocked out by Conor McGregor in December of 2015, and that could have broken him, here he is in May of 2025, still going strong, still a factor, still beloved. It's a remarkable journey, not to mention everything he did prior to that. That fight reminded me a little of UFC 129, the Mark Hominick fight, and how it ended. And I thought it was going to be the same thing where the Canadian guy falls just short, but Zahabi got the W. What did you guys think of the scorecard?
I had it that way in real time.
Had it what?
Watching live, I had it 1 for Aldo, 2 and 3 for Zahabi.
Okay. What about you, GC?
Yeah, a bit begrudgingly, I had it 2-1. I just wasn't sure about that third round just because Aldo did insane damage to him. I still can't believe that Zahabi survived all that. Like the screenshot that came out of Aldo, like full speed soccer kick straight to Zahabi's dome. The fact that he ate all that, survived, the damage that he did, he came so close to finishing him. I was like, it's got to be an Aldo round. But then ending up on his back, all the elbows that he landed, he cut him open bad. He pretty much dominated for the last 3 minutes of the fight. I gave it to Zahabi, but man, it was an incredibly close round. I think the best moment of the fight, the meme from the fight, is Aldo looking up at the clock and there still being 3 minutes and 2 seconds left, and like he was just done after that.
What'd you think? What'd you think, PT?
Oh, yeah, Aldo winning 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And then losing the tour. But how the fuck do you lose a round after knocking someone down twice? It's absolutely insane.
It was like a 2x4 to the face.
I just can't believe he was so gassed. I cannot believe Zahabi survived that, and I cannot believe Aldo
it was a horrendous weight cut, probably.
Yeah, I guess that's true. That's true, yeah.
Everyone's talking about the moment where he looks up at the clock, and it was brilliant, absolutely. But there's also a moment after Zahabi gets up the second time when he looks at the clock and he's like, for fuck's sake, man. Joke. Like,
and that's when you kind of know he's done, right?
Just like, bollocks. I can't fucking believe this. And then it happens. But fair play to Zahabi. Like, he had to go at an insane pace there to somehow rescue that round. Like, crazy. So fair play to him. Brilliant homecoming fight. Like, it's a close fight. I'm not shouting robbery, but I just personally had it for Aldo.
Favorite Jose Aldo moment, guys? There's 2 that come to mind for me. I'll let you guys.
Mendes.
The Mendes
knee is
the Mendes knee and celebration in Rio was iconic. For me, it's a little bit of a personal one. He fights Mike Brown on the Thursday before, if my memory is correct, UFC, it was either, I believe it was 109. I believe it was the Thursday before UFC 109 in a versus card. Where was it? It was because I remember we were there, and I remember on the Friday, so it was the Thursday night, and I remember the next day, and right before the weigh-ins, they had him. What was it? It was WEC. It was where's the year? Yeah, but where's the year? They don't have the November of 2009. It was the Thursday before UFC 106. UFC 106. Yes, it was the Forrest Griffin. I believe Forrest Griffin, Tito Ortiz was on that one. Yes, UFC 106, right? UFC 106 was November 21st, 2009. Am I getting this right or no? Maybe I'm not getting it right. Am I getting old? Wait, what was this? November 18th. Yes, it was the Thursday before. 106 was 21. Yes, Thursday before 106.
I never doubted you.
Anyway, and then the takedown defense in that fight was brilliant. Brown coming off the Uriah Faber victory, and then he met with us at some sort of restaurant in Vegas, maybe the MGM with Ed Soares, and I was like, this freaking guy, like his whole life is about to change, and he did the business in WC, did the business, and then of course UFC 123, Auburn Hills. They just announced that they were going to merge the two brands and all the champions were going to come over. By the way, novel concept. You merge two brands, the champions come over and become the champion of the company. That's what you do. And they held a ceremony inside the Palace of Auburn Hills. Before the event, the media got to come there, and Dana White handed him the belt. No fans in attendance, which was a little bit weird in retrospect. Why didn't they do this in front of the fans? I don't know. But also, we got to be there while they were doing the rehearsals for the walkouts, and that's when we realized that Rampage was going to walk out to the Pride music because they were rehearsing his song. He was fighting Lyoto Machida that night. Before that event, Jose Aldo had to get his very first suit. He had never purchased or worn a suit before, and there's that iconic clip from the Black House MMA YouTube channel. I just love everything about this. This is a 23-year-old Jose Aldo. Listen to him.
I can't believe it now. Ui.
You can't stop laughing at the lunacy of all of this. There's Ed Soares. There's Derek. Incredible. A kid from the favela getting his first suit, becoming UFC champion. Can't stop laughing. Just
Amazon Beetle. Pô, onde vai ser o baile de formatura?
look at this guy. Looks like Men in Black. Looks like Will Smith. Fresh face Jose Aldo. The King of Rio. What a legend. Love it. Love it. And that's a great shout. The win over Chad Mendes gave us a lot of great moments. And I hope he is at peace. And there's really nothing more for him to do. Had a great run at 135. No one thought he'd be able to make that weight. Successfully time and again. Had a great run at 145, one of the greatest of all time. Still kind of feel like there's another boxing match or two in there for him. Felt like he was building towards something in boxing and then came back. There needs to be a story told about the sort of like mismanagement of the tail end of his career. Why was he fighting very tough but not so famous fighters? I love Aiemann Zahabi. Why did he take this fight? Like Jose Aldo went to Montreal to fight a Montreal hero. Why? He should have been fighting, the Dominic Cruzes of the world, if you get what I'm saying. But what's done is done. Nothing left to prove. And he's able to sail off into the sunset. Shout out to, as I said earlier, Jasmine Jazz Davicius and Mike Malott representing Niagara Top Team. 2 brilliant wins. Malott defeats.
Jazz Davicius.
Yeah, Charles Radke. Via second round, Radke had a lot of things to say about the Canadians booing the anthem and all this stuff. And he bounced his head off the mat. Vicious stuff from Mike Malott. So a big win for him. One of the fighters that a lot of people think could be the next big thing out of Canada. Still believe that. Benoit Saint Denis got it done against Kyle Prepelec, one of the 2 Canadians who did not win on the night. Took the fight on very short notice. The God of War back in there. Seemed to really be happy that he was fighting in Quebec, saying that multiple times in French to the audience. And he needed this victory after the Dustin Poirier loss, after the Renato Moicano loss. He needed to get his mojo back. We'll talk to him later in the week. As in addition to Mike Malott and Jasmine Jastovicius, Modestus Bukauskas gets the win over Iwan Kuchilaba. Navajo Sterling with a win as well. Marc-Andre Barrios' win over Bruno Silva was absolutely terrifying. The elbows, the knockout, the clips afterwards where it seemed like there might have been a indentation in Bruno Silva's head. Shocking stuff. He gets carted out. Here's a photo of MAB on his knees as they attend to Bruno Silva. There were the scenes afterwards. So yeah, very scary stuff. Daniel Santos with the win and Beksit Almakhan with a knockout win to start the card against Brad Katona. Overall, a $6 million gate. There was some talk about the tickets and overpriced and the lack of stars. But if you did attend on Saturday, I thought a very entertaining card for the most part and highlighted by that tremendous main event. Obviously, throughout the show and throughout the week, we're going to be talking to a lot of these winners, so stay tuned. But I want to ask PT now about earlier in the day. Oh, and by the way, shout out to the great Vitor Belfort. It was announced during the card that he will be going into the Hall of Fame as part of the 2025 induction class. He'll be joining us on the show tomorrow as well. And can I just say, because I'm so excited, joining us in studio tomorrow here on the program, breaking news, Frank. The brand new reigning, defending UFC welterweight champion, Don Giacomo, Jack Della in studio.
That's big.
Bringing it up. And I have to give a shout out to Tim Simpson. I tried to get, and this is what people say, like, hey, you know, what's the plan? Should we get him on before? He said, you know what? We're going to be in New York after the fight. We'll come in. He'll put the belt on the desk. You'll have a nice chat. And I was like, all right. I guess you guys are confident. And so they will be doing that tomorrow. I can't wait for that on the program. Earlier in the day on Saturday, while my Knicks were getting their ass whooped by the Boston Celtics, PT was holding it down in Belfast. He was like the Prince of Belfast. I mean, you were out there hobnobbing with the locals, having a few pints at the market, talking to everyone, catching up. There were non-alcoholic pints, right?
Well, of course. I mean, I don't drink.
Over at the Odyssey. I mean, it seemed like a great scene. Of course, we here in North America couldn't watch any of it for some bizarre reason, but Don Davis is going to deliver. He did tweet that he heard us, and he's going to deliver. He said that the events are going to air here in North America, in the US of A. You asked for it, and PFL will deliver it. All PFL International League fights will be available free to watch in the US starting June 1st. Details coming in a major announcement. Let's see what it means. Is it going to be tape delayed? Who the hell knows? But what a scene for big news. Paul Hughes defeating Bruno Miranda, the walkout, the fight, the celebration, the post-fight speech. Take us through it. What did you see?
Yeah, it was incredible. It was the whole city just turned on to this fight. I got up there at about 2 p.m. local time, and I was thinking, I wonder where the common market is from here. I saw 4 lads across the road wearing Paul Hughes t-shirts, and I said, right, I'm just going to follow them and see if I end up there. Sure enough, 5-minute walk behind the lads, and I'm at the common market where there are 3 p.m. and the doors didn't open until 5. Already 200, 300 guys there, all in Paul Hughes t-shirts, singing songs, bursting into random chants about Hughes. It just felt like the whole city was there for Paul Hughes. And as I said before, it is a fight in town, Belfast, but I have been to maybe 7 events there, and the only one I ever felt that had the same pull as this one was the UFC when they came in 2017. Gegard Mousasi was supposed to main event that. I don't know if he ended up main eventing in the end. Neil Seary was supposed to fight Ian McCall. Ian McCall pulled out of the fight very late, but obviously UFC come to town. It's a huge thing. I had been there for Carl Moore v. Corey Anderson a year before, and it was about 2,000 people there. There was about 8,000 people at this one, which is a huge upscale in numbers. But the funny thing about the people that I found were these weren't UFC fans, they weren't PFL fans, they weren't MMA fans, they were Paul Hughes fans. Everybody there was like a casual sports fan that wanted to be in on this cultural moment that was Paul Hughes coming home. The opponent was completely unimportant. Like, as you saw, I know you guys saw my video when I was going around asking people, like, there was no sense of any jeopardy here for Paul Hughes. Everyone was like, no, he's going to beat him in, like, you know, a minute. He's going to beat him in the first round. He's going to put this guy out cold. Every single person so confident. It didn't feel at any stage that there was a threat there by Bruno Miranda. I thought he was a sneaky, tough opponent. Turned out not to be, but just an amazing time, because I feel as though during the initial boom here in 2014 and that magical night in Dublin, Norman Park was on that card, and he felt very separate to everything else that was going on. We always included him in our tally. He had a big win that night. As digital media, we could always kind of go up north, interview those guys, and come back down south, whatever it was. But in terms of where mainstream media was at the time, it was nearly like we're covering these guys from the Republic, and Norman Park is also there. To see Belfast having this moment where they are the ones being celebrated, where the very first fight of the night is Nahom Weddy, a very popular fighter from SBG, against Sean McCormick Corey from FAI. And to see so many people already there absolutely buzzing for it, like these kind of rivalry fights between gyms, it was magic. And, you know, it's a testament to the hard work that FAI have been doing there and there. Up there, Liam Shannon and Pat McAllister. Like, the gym is just full of talent. even Reese McKee in the UFC. Obviously, Paul Hughes is there. Joe McColgan, a former lightweight champion who was a huge sentimental favourite in Belfast. Tiernan Loughran, the brother of Caelan Loughran, and Caelan obviously trained there for a very long time. It just felt as though this wasn't just Paul's moment; it was Belfast moments. It's the moment the North kind of stands up. They have the buzz now, and it's new for them. It's really exciting, and it was a real throwback for me. Like, it was one of the most positive nights of Irish MMA I've enjoyed in a decade. It was absolutely fantastic.
And that post-fight interview, because look, there was some kind of a risk involved here. You're coming off the best fight in PFL history, arguably, in January. Conventional wisdom says you just keep them apart. You keep them on the sidelines, and then eventually, when Usman is ready to return, you have him fight. Paul, like, don't risk it. Well, they risked it because this was such a big deal. He does that. He wins in 42 seconds, not a scratch on his face. He gets on the microphone. Usman Nurmagomedov, it was a brilliant post-fight speech. In fact, we have it. We could play it right now. Here it is. Here's Paul Hughes.
Usman Nurmagomedov! You can run, you can try to delay this rematch as long as you want, but your day is f***ing coming!
How loud was it in there when he was doing all of that?
I wrote a piece about it. I think it'll be up later on. And it was like being in a burning building because the heat of it and the noise of it and the intensity of it and the emotion of it. I mean, I just haven't been in a for a long time, Irish MMA, we were spoiled. I said to Paul after that, like, this is like McGregor in 2014. It has that same kind of feeling. We had lots of great nights with Queally and James Gallagher, and they had these massive entrances as well. But the difference is, I feel like we kind of have established already here that Paul is a world beater. When James was having those moments, he was on his way. He was trying to get to those moments. Peter Queally, again, trying to get to those moments. Whereas we've seen Paul now against Usman Nurmagomedov. I thought he won the fight. Even if you had that fight for Nurmagomedov, you're saying this is incredibly close. You have to admit that much. So this felt like, to me, like a Doumbé moment. Even though Doumbé hasn't scaled that level in MMA, it was one of these things like, show the world how much this means to the people of Belfast. Show how much it means to Irish people. And I think they unquestionably did that. Obviously, the horrible thing being that it wasn't available to people in the US. Like, I can remember the impact that had with Conor, even with James, with Queally, all these people, and to think that wasn't being able to see it. I'm glad they got it out on social media. They need to somehow put out the full entrance on social media with Foy Vance singing Grace, which is an incredibly emotive song, an Irish ballad, and then into that Nipsey Hussle thing. They need to show it. It was absolutely amazing. And big thanks to Tom and Gabby on the PFL team, who really went out of their way for me in terms of organising the interview prior to the event, which we did in Yahoo in Dublin, and then obviously getting that spot with Paul afterwards. It made a great night already, very memorable for me, something I'll never forget.
Yeah, you can see that interview on the channel right now. Some people forget that McGregor Brandao card, that aired on Fight Pass. It wasn't like it was on Fox or Fuel TV or FS1 or pay-per-view. That was just like on the UFC's streaming platform. Like, for them not to figure out a way, and I understand, you say, they have a deal with ESPN. Like, figure it out, man. Figure it out. And by the way...
Do you know that's crazy to me, Ariel? I heard you talking about this with Chuck on the post-fight show. It's incredible to me that PFL are in a situation where the UFC are essentially dictating what goes out. Like, that has to be a factor here.
Well, why do you...
ESPN,
I don't know about
ESPN have a deal with UFC, and then ESPN dictate if their event is going to be shown or not?
No, it's a deal. It's a deal where ESPN has exclusive rights to the PFL in America, and so they can't cut a deal with DAZN for American streaming. Basically, ESPN is saying, if you guys are showing live fights, it has to be on our air, and we don't want this.
Why aren't they showing it?
What?
Why aren't they showing it? Why don't they want it?
Fuck if I know. I don't know. I mean, they show other... yeah, well, that's the thing. How does PFL not cut that deal with ESPN? I think my understanding is, like, they kind of just thought that they could get it on somewhere else, and they haven't been able to do that. And so they view this as a separate entity. But eventually, and maybe ESPN wasn't giving them the deal that they were looking for, but eventually you have to say to yourself, like, yo, we need people to see this. Now, let's be honest. A million people probably weren't watching on Saturday afternoon. Like we all know that. But yet, like you have to show the fights. It's the year 2025. How do you not figure out a way, whether it's on your YouTube channel, GeoBlock just to the US, whether it's on ESPN Plus, some way, somehow, this is one of your top, I don't know, 2, 3, 4, 5 biggest stars at worst. This story is without a doubt the best that you have by far, not even close, like this rivalry. How do you not figure out a way to get it done? And Usman, by the way, responding and writing to Paul Hughes on social media in the aftermath, congratulations, good job, we will do it again. But then when I say, and then he writes, man, I didn't even know you were fighting. And I don't know if that was a knock at PFL's marketing or Paul Hughes. He's going Pizzi with the angle of like, you know, I'm above you. And look, there's an exodus happening. And a lot of them are, what's that?
I am very worried about
Well, let me
this.
just finish my thought. Let me finish my thought. There's an exodus happening, and a lot of them are Ali guys. Patchy Mix, he'll be gone. Aaron Pico, gone. There's things, Kayla Harrison left. To your point, I share the sentiment. I wouldn't put it past him to be like, fuck this. Let me be the next one to go. Also, and we never get the rematch.
What's Father's plan? Islam. What division is he in?
Yeah. Yeah.
He wants to go to 170. Who's taking his place from the Dagestan group?
Yeah.
There you go. Very worried about that, and worried for PFL as well, honestly. Like, you know, like if there's a lot of bad sounds coming, like with the Dakota, you know, we obviously talked about Johnny Eblin, everybody, like a lot of very prominent names, like if Paul becomes one of those guys or Usman leaves, like it leaves Paul in a very weird situation where there's only one fight for either of these guys. The story will be moved on very quickly for Usman being an Nurmagomedov going to the UFC. You can quickly generate some PR about that. It would leave Paul in a tough situation. Like, he's still doing great. As I said, the adoration I saw for him in Belfast was unbelievable. Like, to your point, like, you know, you're talking about, oh, nobody in North America could see this. I went down to the after party to see it, and I was talking to John McColgan outside, and there was a few lads, obviously fans of fight, and trying to talk to Joe there. And I was like, right, I'm gonna go. I have to watch some of these fights. And they're like, what fights? Not a clue.
Really?
UFC was on. Not a They're like, who's fighting? And I was like, Bilal Muhammad. And they're like, oh.
Wow.
It didn't occur to them.
They were just solely Paul Hughes fans. If Paul,
not even MMA fans.
Yeah.
Like,
if Paul Hughes was a boxer, they were there for him.
Yes, they were there to experience Paul Hughes fighting in Belfast, and it was unbelievable.
Good for him, man. I'm so happy that he got that moment. There is a part of me that does, in fact, feel like, okay, he got the moment. He checked it off. He deserves bigger stages. Not bigger stages than Belfast. Not bigger stages than fighting at home. But it felt to me like Cage Warriors Plus. Do you know what I mean?
When you say bigger stages, you mean the fact that it wasn't broadcast in the US? He's
a UFC caliber fighter. He's the best.
Oh, he is.
Best.
But like, there's only one fight to make there, you know, and that's a UFC caliber fight. That's the fight everybody wants. No one is denying that. But I think rather than sitting on the shelf, doing this was a lot better for his career than sitting on his arse waiting for Usman to say, I'll fight you.
Oh, 100%. 100%. And I'm so happy he got it. But he deserves better than fighting on a card that is not available in the biggest market.
Oh, absolutely.
In the
absolutely.
world. You know what I mean?
There's no.
He should be fighting on a 316, on a 317. You know what I mean?
A lot of people didn't even know that was the situation. Like, I was telling some of his team, you know, people can't watch this in the US. They're like, what? And I was like, yeah, there was no way to watch this, and they couldn't believe it. You know, so it's tough. But to be in there, to be in that arena that night, it was an unquestionably magic night. Absolutely, and it sucks that everyone in the US and North America couldn't see it, because it was a magic night for the PFL. You're just going to have to take my word for it, unfortunately.
Does the rematch happen?
I hope so. Paul and his team are so confident, and they're very realistic guys. I hope it isn't their bias to Hughesy that's swaying them here. I want that fight more than anything in the world. I think you were talking about best fights of 2025. I don't know how that isn't in the top 5 of every list. That was a magic fight, full of personality. There's an article I wrote in January, I believe. It wasn't a priority, evidently, but Yeah, I really hope it happens, man.
Look, I'd like to think that they wanted to do it. It's just that Usman wasn't willing to do it,
right?
and so this was the next best thing. But now you have to do it. Like you can't tempt fate again.
Yeah, I wonder what the contract situation is there with Usman.
Oh dear. Like he was talking about Brent Primus and stuff like that. Like, no, what are we talking about here?
There is no other fight.
Yeah.
There is no other fight.
No other fight. All right. Well, let us see. Also, by the way, on Saturday, we found out that Robert Whittaker is, in fact, going to be fighting Rene de Ridder on the 26th of July in Abu Dhabi. There it is. Yeah. We were sort of wondering who would be next for RDR. Whittaker was teasing a fight, and so there you have it. RDR versus Robert Whittaker, a massive, massive fight, a huge opportunity for RDR coming off the Bo Nickel win. By the way, did you guys see the clip of Bo Nickel on his show? He was his tone was a little bit different than when he was on our program, telling the haters to essentially suck it. Maybe it's sunk in a little bit. I don't know. Who knows? But it's going to be very interesting to see how he rebounds from here. All right, let's go and say hello to our first guest of the day. Very excited to talk to this man. He is one of the absolute best welterweights in the world. Some might say he's the number one contender. I'm sure he would agree with them if they did say that. He was in attendance on Saturday, had a front row seat at what transpired at the Bell Center. Can't wait to get his thoughts. Let us say hello to the pride of Philadelphia, the one and only Big Sean Brady. Oh, there he. Ooh,
You see what I'm doing for you, Ariel?
This is nice. Yo,
support, man.
Where'd you get that?
So we got there Thursday for the fights, and I guess because I was a guest fighter, me, Vitor Belfort, Joanna, and Bilal's teammate Ignacio Baja Mendez, we're all like playing some games, and they gave us all these jerseys. So I figured, what better way to break it out than on your show and show support.
Better than that Philly gear you were wearing in the front row over there on Saturday. I mean, really.
See, now I'm gonna have to take it off.
Yeah, no, I just mean like in the front row. Golly, I respect it. You got to represent.
Canada was awesome though. So
was that your first time?
First time.
Wow,
it was great. The fight, true fight fans up there for sure. It was awesome. Like it felt like I was fighting Saturday night because of how much love I got from the fans. So it was really great. I definitely want to go back. And I didn't realize TriStar was right there. I ran into Rory McDonald, was talking to him, might go up there and do some training with those guys. So I'm definitely going to be going back. It was a 50-minute flight from Philly.
I'm telling you, yeah, it's great. Rory McDonald, so good to see him back in the mix. It had been so long since we saw him, involved in a UFC fight week. I also understand you may have visited a restaurant that I told Lloyd to go to. Joe Beef. Did you guys go to Joe Beef?
Yeah, you told him to go there?
That was my recommendation. What do you say?
It was very good. Me, my coach, Lloyd, Vitor Belfort, and I think someone. We all went, and it was great. It was good steak for sure. It wasn't like a steakhouse vibe though, which I liked. It was like a small. It was almost like an Italian restaurant.
Yeah.
Like very small, very homey. It was awesome. Like I really do like Montreal. It was great.
Love to hear that. All right, let's talk about what you saw. And I know that you were I think, correct me if I'm wrong, you were leaning towards Bilal, but you weren't counting Jack out. In the end,
yeah.
What did you think of how it all played out?
Oh, yeah, I mean, I definitely said going into it that Jack, exactly what happened with Jack. Jack's very hard to take down, and when you do get him down, he scrambles very well. I said that on maybe your podcast. I know I said it on my podcast. Clearly, he punches very hard. I said that as well. Bilal has a broken nose, a broken orbital. So, yeah, it was an amazing fight. Cage side, it was a great fight. Definitely one of the best fights of the year. I was listening to your clip of you talking earlier about Bilal and how he did shoot takedowns and how his stats kind of were aligned with usually where they're at. I definitely feel like he could have shot more in the beginning. But like GC and the other guys were saying, Jack was throwing knees and uppercuts up the middle, and he made it very tough. But as far as both of them, it was it was a great fight and a great performance from both of them. It was definitely like I haven't watched it back yet. I'm sure I will, but watching it live, it felt very close. I don't know how it felt watching it on TV.
To the point that you just brought up, was there anything that Bilal did or didn't do that surprised you? Like you say, okay, he could have shot more and maybe a couple more here and there. I think it's not giving Jack enough credit.
Yeah.
You know, for say like he's not.
Yeah.
What is he gonna do? Just walk in there and take the guy down? Like it's not that easy,
Yeah.
right?
No, for sure. I do think he could have tried to clinch with him a little bit more. Like you can shoot and not attempt to really get the takedown, but you get Jack to start thinking about the takedown a little bit more. And he didn't really do that for the first 3 rounds. I think he might have shot like once or twice here, but yeah, I just thought he was going to be trying to clinch with him more because if you're just standing in space with Jack, like his boxing is clean, his head movement is great. So like you gotta, and credit to Bilal though, because he did that. He stood there, he traded with him, didn't get dropped, got hit with some heavy shots, but yeah, I just thought he was going to have a little bit different of a game plan. I think that game plan started to come out a little bit more towards the end of the fight when he maybe realized that it was kind of maybe slipping away from him a little bit, but I thought it was close the entire way through.
Did Jack surprise you? Did anything, we hadn't seen him in so long.
I know how good Jack is. I prepared for him. I got ready for him when he was at like his hottest streak, and I knew how serious I took him. And Jack's an amazing fighter. He doesn't talk he's not very not on social media doing all kinds of crazy stuff. But as far as fighting, I think he's one of the best in the division. He has every skill. He's great on the feet, good on the ground, hard to take down. He has submissions. He's big for the division. He's 5'11". Like he's definitely taller than people think. So yeah, he's definitely going to be a good champion for sure. And like I said, like I've already done a camp for him. So if he's the champion by the time everything clears up, yeah, I definitely know what I'm getting myself into.
When you were watching that and realized that Jack was going to become the new champion, were you disappointed? Did this make things a little more complicated for you?
No, because I seen it 2 ways. If Bilal won, there's a better chance of me definitely getting the title shot, which would be amazing. But I knew if Jack won, that I'd be fighting again, which I've been saying since the Leon fight, which I'm fine with. And like you guys were just saying, me and Ian, like I feel like people are very surprised I keep saying that. They're like, oh, why don't you don't want the title shot? I'm like, of course I want the title shot. But there's still Shavkat there. There's Islam saying he's moving up. You have Kamaru and Buckley saying whoever wins that's getting a title shot. So we're all going to have to fight. I'm going to have to fight Ian Gary eventually. Why not just do it now and just get it out of the way if I'm as good as I think I am? I would fight Shavkat for the #1 contender, but he made a tweet with a surgeon next to him, so no one knows. He says he's coming back in October. That really means he's probably coming back the end of the year or even next year. So, yeah, me and Ian had a little interaction at the fight. He was at the end of the aisle. I was at the beginning, and he was asking me what I thought from across the way, and I just went like this to him. I was like, me and you, that's what I think. I think me and you are going to have to fight now because I'm not we can't all wait around for a title shot.
And so, what did he do when you said that?
He kind of laughed, but he's still asking me what I thought about the fight, and I was like, we were so far away. I just mouthed I thought Jack did enough.
Oh, this was right after the fight ended.
Oh, we were literally cage. We were cage side.
Wow.
Yeah, we were cage side. Yeah.
Would you have both gone in there if Bilal won?
If they started pulling him in, I'm walking in too. All right. I still have that. I have that #1 next to my name. I don't know where Bilal is going to move in the rankings because he lost to Jack. Maybe he'll go to 3. Maybe he'll take my spot. But for today, I still have the #1 next to my name. So, yeah, I'm still the #1 contender.
How do you feel if, in fact, they go with Islam versus Jack next? Are you okay with that? Are you okay with Islam getting the title shot?
Sorry, someone's calling me. You still got me?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, like you guys said, I would rather see him stay where he's at, and kind of clean out 155. The whole double champ thing is hard, especially when 2 of his fights were against Volkanovski, and then he does have Dustin Poirier, but there's still guys at 155. And then you have Ilya trying to come up. But then again, on the other hand, he's done so much. If he wants to move up, if he's going to move up, is he going to stay there, though? Because if not, now you're holding up 2 divisions. So if he's going to move up, then me and Ian are fighting. Like I know like that's the fight to make. And that's just the way I see it.
And so it seems like whether or not Islam fights on June 28th, which is what I would love to see, and then move up to fight Jack, it seems like he will probably be next for Jack, right? And so that does leave you, Ian. Shavkat, I agree with you. We're not seeing him at the earliest until the end of the year.
Yeah.
Ian posted a video kind of breaking down the division, and you weren't mentioned in there. Did you see this video?
Yeah. I did. I seen it. I don't. Ian's not scared of me. Ian just wants the title shot. That's what he's thinking he's getting next. Which I know is not true. I know I'm not even getting it. Islam's getting it. Whether it's Jack's saying he wants to fight in 8 weeks from now. So in my mind, I'm like, man, what if they do Islam and Jack at International Fight Week?
Nah, no chance. No chance.
I know. But I'm like, that would be nuts. But so it just depends on the time frame. But with Ian, it's like, bro, he knows who the fight is. Like he knows, like I said it a million times on here. Same manager. He knows the landscape. He knows what they want. It makes the most sense. And it makes more sense for him. I'm the number one guy. You're like 6 rankings behind me or wherever you're at. So it could be the other way around. I could be saying like, nope, I'm sitting on my spot, not giving it up. I'm going to sit on it until I get my title shot. And I'm not here doing that. Like I'm 32 years old. I'm in the prime of my career. I feel great. I want to fight. And like I said, whether Ian's 6 or number 2 or the champion, eventually I'm going to have to fight him because he is good. So why not just fight now?
We spoke to you very briefly after his win over Carlos Prates, but I didn't ask you about the performance. Were you surprised of anything in that fight, the win over Prates a couple of weeks ago?
No, he looked good. The first he did what he did. He did what he does. Carlos surprised me more that he didn't start faster. You know, the 4th and 5th round, he started getting going. If he would have did that earlier, that fight could have looked a little bit different because we've seen in the 5th round, he almost had him out of there. And if Carlos had a little bit more, like a better fight IQ, I think he could have finished him in the 5th round. A couple more hammer fists when he was hanging on his leg, and that fight's over. So, it just kind of blows my mind that Ian thinks he deserved the title shot after he fought Shavkat and lost. And then when Jack got the title call, he was mad that he didn't get it. And then he goes out there and beats Carlos Prates, who's number 13, which is a good win. But it was a decision, and you almost got finished in the 5th round, and you think you deserve a title shot. No one deserves anything. We all need to go prove who is the best and who deserves it. And if I want to just sit on my spot, I could say, I just finished Leon Edwards in London. I'm waiting for my spot. But instead, I'm saying, we'll fight, and whoever wins out of that will be me, and then I'll get my title shot.
If for some reason he sticks to his guns on this, do you think there's any possibility Buckley beats Usman and they try to do you versus Buckley?
That's another one. Yeah. I mean, the winner of that, it could be me and Buckley, or it could be me and Usman. I think people are forgetting about Usman too. So
you think he has a chance in that one? You think he has?
I think people are crazy to count out Kamaru Usman. Yes, he's a little bit older. People always talk about his knees and all these things, but if you go watch him fight, when he fights, he makes it happen. Like he fights to a different level than I'm sure he trains at. You know, he goes in there and he turns it on. What he did against Hamzat on 10 days notice, up a weight class, if there was 2 more rounds in that fight, it would look a little bit different. So, I'm definitely not. Buckley's on an amazing streak, but I'm definitely not counting out Kamaru Usman.
Yeah, that fight, by the way, is happening June 14th. So we're going to get some sort of clarity in the next month or so. For you, realistically, I know you took that fight on somewhat short notice. You had the baby. By the way, happy first Mother's Day to your wife. Hope you guys
sitting right here.
Oh yes, all right. Hope you guys had a great weekend. Realistically, when do you want to fight?
Oh man, I was hoping like August, September timeframe,
okay.
And then kind of see how, and that's kind of, I guess, realistic, right, with the way things have to play out. But I don't think it's that big of a decision. It's that hard of a decision. It's me and Ian. Like he just fought. I just fought a little bit ago. By the time September rolls around, we're both healthy. We're both fresh. Why not just do that? And that just be that, But because we're going to have to have an answer for International Fight Week within the next couple of weeks, I mean,
days.
Hopefully this week.
Yeah.
Like we have to know something soon. So we're going to have an answer on Islam relatively soon, wouldn't you think?
100%. Yeah, 100%. And I know you were in Montreal. Did you happen to see anyone, the brass, anyone give you any sort of inkling as to what they want to do with you?
No, I didn't run into anybody, but I do know that I've heard already that they were leaning towards me and Ian.
Okay.
So it just makes the most sense. Like I said, especially for him, I'm the number one contender. It makes even more sense for him than it does for me. Like I think it was Eric saying, if you were me, you kind of sit back, and I agree, I could do that, but it's just like what my man GC in the back was saying. Let's all fight and let's see who truly deserves it, because you got every single person in the top 5 saying they deserve a title shot. Let's go earn it, and let's see who really deserves it.
By the way, I have a question for GC. This is like the 3rd time you've mentioned his name. Is this your way of like extending an olive branch and getting out? We haven't brought up like the biggest question of them all, but I feel like you're sort of cozying up to him now, giving him all these props. Is this your way of getting out of the battle?
I'm one of the boys in the back. Okay. I'm in the back. You guys I'm just in the back, like at my house or in my garage gym. Listen, I'm in the back though.
Sean is one of the boys. We just have to settle it on a bike. That's all it is. It's nothing personal.
I'm a boy in the back. I'm just not in New York City. I'm coming up there. We're going to get to it.
They're worried. Like they were like, "How are you going to bring it up? It's getting awkward now. Like we don't want to. Like it's getting a little bit."
Some random fan came up to me in Canada and said, literally asked me about it, and they were like, "When you getting up there?" I'm getting there. Trust me. It's going to be a bad day for GC. I just got to get up there, dude. Not to change subjects.
Okay.
I don't know how these people who work at the UFC, like, they're amazing, because yesterday I slept for 1 hour last night. We got home from the fight back to the hotel at 2:30 in the morning. We had to be at the airport at 4:30. So I slept for an hour. I'm like, these guys do this every week.
Yeah.
Like it's insane. So shout out to them. They're amazing.
That, by the way, GC, that was a great job of changing the subject. Did you see that?
I was going to say that is professional. The way that he moved through that was really professional. Wow. I saw on his IG story he posted like hitting the VO2 max on the bike. I'm just like, what is this? Is this this is an intimidation tactic?
The truth is, it's not worth my time.
Oh my gosh! Oh my god! This is like a 35th ranked guy calling you out.
This is for the DVD. This is for my championship DVD after I win.
It's not worth my time. I love you, brother, but
wow,
it's not worth my time.
We were sort of like earmarking Fight Week in Newark, right? That's what we were talking.
It's still possible. I'm just saying.
Oh wow, possibility now.
It's bad.
Wow.
It's going to be bad.
Okay. Wow.
No, I'm having no mercy when I come up there. I might throw up with how hard I go on this plane.
This sounds like Bilal before the JDM fight. He's like, I'm hungry. I want to eat. I want to eat.
Yo, you want to hear something crazy?
Yeah, let's go.
Real quick. So Saturday. No, I'm sorry. Before I go on the weigh-in show on Friday morning, I'm running on the treadmill and I'm listening to DC do an interview with Brett Okamoto, and he's naming his top 5 welterweights, and I'm not on the list.
Wow. Wait, whose list?
DC.
Oh wow.
So I confronted him on the weigh-in show, and
how'd it go?
He didn't know what to say. He was flabbergasted. I was like, dude, I'm number 1.
Yeah, that's
and
crazy.
You didn't even put me on the list.
He's a casual. Do you think it just slipped his mind, or do you think he actually feels that way?
No, he has to be a casual.
Yeah, I think he's a casual. He doesn't watch the fights. He doesn't watch the fights. I mean, listen to the commentary. Can I ask, is there any chance if none of these fights pan out that they just book the one that everyone wants to see, which is you versus Jeremy Stevens after that, that
I think it's Joe Pyfer versus Jeremy Stevens, but I didn't even know I was included in the beef. So I watched one of his interviews and he was like, Sean Brady and Joe Pyfer were next to my manager and they didn't say shit to me. I did the 50 Cent meme. I was like, what do you say fuck me for? I was like, I didn't have beef with this dude. He just called me out, and I'm like, I didn't say anything bad about you. It was Joey who got up on the mic and gave you the beef, but man, I couldn't believe.
Not a bad diss track though, right?
It was interesting. It was very. We were trying to convince Joe. Where we do our podcast at, there's a recording studio right next door. We were trying to convince him to go do a diss track and return fire, but Joey wasn't having it.
By the way, what's with all the Vayner guys fighting with each other? You, Ian, you, Jeremy, Joe, Jeremy. I mean, it's a lot of. Lloyd needs to get a hold of you guys.
Lloyd needs to tighten up. He needs to put his foot down. That's what he needs to do.
It's
He needs to put his foot
I
down.
feel for him. I can't imagine it's very fun when there's all
No,
this.
it's a good. But seriously, me and Ian, it's a good problem to have.
Yeah.
I am not like I respect Ian. Like he's a good fighter. He's selling it. He's selling it. He's all over the place trying to say he's the number one guy. Blah blah blah. But at the end of the day, we're gonna have to fight and figure it out. So. Yeah, I don't know where they're going in August, where they're going in September. Like, obviously, I would love to fight some. Like, when's the last time they were in Philly? Me and Ian could do a headline a fight night right at the Wells Fargo Center. Yeah, like there's a million. I seen someone saying something about going to Ireland. Like they're not going back to Ireland for a while probably, but yeah, there's a lot of options for sure.
By the way, who do you like, JDM or Islam?
I think JDM's going to make it a lot more interesting than what people will think it would be.
Wow.
He fights as good as he does, southpaw, orthodox. He's hard to take down. Like I said, he scrambles very he just has this ability to create these scrambles and getting right back to his feet. He started working with Craig Jones. Craig's known for doing like unorthodox stuff like that, and it definitely added to his game plan and his weapons. I seen Craig in the back, and obviously me and him grappled before. We were like hugging each other. I was like, I'm gonna see you sooner than we thought. So hopefully I see him in the corner against me soon. But yeah, I think Jack's gonna hang around for a little bit longer than people think.
Wow. All right. High praise. Okay, so let's see how this all pans out. Your prediction later this year, fall time. It'll be you versus Ian. And do you believe that's a number one contender fight?
You can't even. I don't know.
Yeah, because then you got the Shavkat thing coming on.
They're gonna put like a 1 and then like another 1. Like you're gonna have to. It's like getting like a stripe on your black belt. Like if you have to have the 1 and then you have to get 4 more to get an actual title shot. But no, I think. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I don't mind fighting. This is what we do, and I'm in the prime of my career. And if we're as good as we say we are, we're gonna be hanging around fighting each other for a while. So why not get this one done? Let Islam come up, probably fight Jack, probably retire and not defend the belt, and then let the rest of us figure it out.
Last one. How do you see the fight against Ian going? Like, how do you see it playing out?
Yeah, obviously I'm a grappler. I'm gonna go forward on Ian, take the space away from him. Ian's really good at distance, and that's where he's going to try to keep me. And it'll be my job to push forward and take that space away and make him uncomfortable, and eventually break him.
Thank you, Sean. Appreciate it. We're waiting for you. The seat is open for you whenever you want. No pressure.
We'll see you next month, Sean.
No, I'm just gonna roll up in the studio one day. You guys aren't even gonna know it.
That's
I'm gonna
good.
I'm gonna be in my biker shorts.
Sneak attack.
And I'm gonna have gels with me, and we're gonna be ready to go.
Can't wait for that. We'll be waiting. Thank you, Sean. You're the man.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it.
I appreciate it.
Much love. There he is, the great Sean Brady. I would pay top dollar for that fight. I would love to see that fight. I would love to see how it all pans out at the top of that division. All of a sudden, 170 has 170 become the most interesting weight class in the UFC, at least right now, and maybe this is just my feelings in the immediate aftermath. There's Jones and Aspinall, and that's it at heavyweight. There's Pereira and Ankalaev, and that's pretty much it at light heavyweight right now. At 185, Dricus Khamzat, and there's some other stuff, but like that's the thing. You know, there's Imavov and Kaio, but that's the one. At 170, there's like a six-pack of different options. 155 is obviously interesting, but it's really about Ilya, Islam, and Charles. Yeah, I feel confident saying that. When's the last time we said that? 170, the most interesting weight class in the UFC right now. By the way, the pound-for-pound rankings over at Uncrowned just came out. I was taking a nice little look at them. Islam 1, Ilya 2, Merab 3, Pantoja 4, Dricus 5, Aspinall 6, Magomed 7, John Jones 8, Pereira still up there 9, Francis. No Jack Della, huh?
I didn't have him on mine.
Wow.
You know who else I didn't have on mine?
Who?
John Jones.
Wow.
From the biggest John Jones glazer on earth.
Yes.
It's time.
It's time.
It's time.
You've had enough.
Are you fighting or not? If you're not a fighter, then
I saw him
Can't
on
be
that
on my pound for
motorcycle
pound
with
list.
some Russian bloke.
Coaching. He's coaching tough.
What is he coaching? He's coaching some-
Russian tough.
with Nate
tough.
Diaz. What is this? Where can we watch this? What is happening here? What is going on? What is it called? Win 2? All.
ALF Reality 2.
What is this?
Fuck, I don't know. There's got to be a lot of money coming his way to be doing that.
Oh hell yeah!
30
for them.
million?
30 million. Maybe not 30 million. Did you have Jack Della on your top 10?
I did not. I actually had him
Wow.
11th.
11th?
I didn't have Bilal in my top 10.
I know, but what a win.
It was an incredible win, I agree, but how am I going to put him in the top 10 if I didn't have the guy beating the top 10? Top 10's crowded. I am surprised to see Francis Ngannou at 10 instead of Jack Della, though.
According to EIC Shaheen, let it be known that PT and GC single-handedly kept JDM off the list by not including them in their top 10s. But Rick also said he didn't have him in his top 10.
Yeah, that's interesting. Someone's lying there. Either EIC
Or Rick.
Shaheen or New York Rick.
Let's see here. Natalia Silva up to 8 in the women's pound for pound. Virna 7, Dakota 6, Juliana 5, Kayla 4, Chris 3, Valentina 2, Zhang Wei Li 1. That's an interesting one. Pacheco 9. When's the last time we saw Pacheco fight, by the way? Feels like it's been forever.
Yeah, the Cyborg one in October.
Oh, that's right. That's right. The pay-per-view, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
Yes.
she lost.
Yes. Feels like a long time ago.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
And not really in the mix
7
for
months
anything
ago.
else. All right, so there you have it. Check that out over at uncrowned.com. A ton of great stuff up there right now, and I'll tell you about some more stuff up there later in the program. For now, though, let us go to our next guest. I said that he was one half of the People's Main Event, and to be honest, he was one half of the People's Main Event because of his involvement. He was one half of the People's Main Event because he was the lone Montrealer that was really, really high up on the card. And what a scene it was, and what a story it was all week long. And then on Friday as well, we find out about Jose Aldo not being able to make weight. He takes the fight, and then he goes out there and he gets the job done. And it was as exhilarating, as thrilling, as entertaining as we all could have hoped. And in the end, he gets his hand raised, doesn't get the fight of the night bonus, possibly due to the fact that the main event was an all-time classic, or because of the fact that Jose didn't make weight. But in the end, he gets the victory, the biggest of his career by far, over a legend, and in doing so appears to have retired a legend. He is Aiemann Zahabi. He's kind enough to join us right now to talk about it all. Still probably flying high. Hello, my friend. How are you?
Yeah, how are you?
Congratulations.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate it.
How do you even process all of this? You just got to win. You're wearing the jersey of the team that plays at the Bell Center. How far is that arena from where you live? 10 minutes, 15, 20?
40 minutes, 30 minutes.
All right. And you're a Montreal guy, and you just got to beat a legend with your brother and GSP in your corner.
Yeah.
Like, have you been able to process all of this?
Yeah, I absolutely love it. I think I won hands down. You know, I heard that you thought the other guy won, which
Yes.
is odd.
Okay, so let me come out and say it fully transparent. I did upon initial viewing. I don't want to hide from it. I don't. You know how I feel about you and your family. Like I just got to keep it real. I thought he won two of three, but that's not a knock on you. It was a very close fight. Are you mad at me?
You're such a mensch. You're willing to give the other guy the fight. That's
No,
how you're.
that's
You're out there. You're fighting Aldo.
Yeah.
You're fighting Jose Aldo, and you're like, you know what? Maybe he won the fight.
I'm just trying to keep it real, but that's no knock on you. It was incredible. It was
No, of course not. Listen, guys, I definitely watched the fight 100 times after. I won round 2 and 3 very clearly.
okay.
I think because the round 2 got broken up a little bit because of the low blows, which, you know, upon review, the second one was definitely not a low blow. People didn't realize I walked him down the entire second round. The entire second round was him going backwards, you know, and the striking was very close, but I landed the more significant strikes all the way to the end of second round. And he was backpedaling the whole round. So I definitely was the more aggressive fighter in round 2. And in round 3, I thought I clearly won also. Like he was winning he only won 30 seconds of round 3. I ran 3 minutes of round 3, you know, and I did a lot of damage at the end. And he you know, he's the one who he got tired, man. He was broken by the end. But at the end of round 3, I think most people would rather be me than be him.
Sure.
So,
I mean, if this was Pride
I
rules,
don't mean that in like a disrespectful way. I just feel like I clearly won round 3.
100%. If this was Pride rules, very easy fight to score, right? If you're scoring the fight,
And then
in
UFC rules,
totality.
you're scored a fight too. I fight.
Yeah,
I
that
feel
too.
like,
That too. That too.
there's no doubt, Ariel. I feel like Ariel, trying to mix muddy the water here a little bit.
No, I'm not trying to. I promise. Listen, it came down to that second round, and it was very close. And I need to watch it again, just like you did. And perhaps it wouldn't be the first time that I got it wrong. Who the hell am I? Thank God I'm not a judge. But what about that kick to the head, though, in the third round? Holy smokes!
Am I the first? Guys, ask your guys. You got any button pushers back there? Am I the first one to get 2 soccer kicks in the UFC in a row? Like soccer kick. Is that like? Am I the first one?
Now, do you consider? Are you
when you on one side of the octagon? Then I ran to the other side of the octagon, got soccer kicked again. Then I found my footing, hit him with a couple of 1-2s, slowed him down, hit him with another 1-2, stopped him in his tracks. But 2 soccer kicks in a row, not bad. I leave it up to God. I thank God for that. Maybe he saved me from going out. I was conscious the whole time. I had no control over my body. That's why I was fumbling around. Like I wanted to step a certain way, or even my arm got stuck after the second, like the second right hand. As I was like, my arm was back there. I wanted to post it on the floor. It wouldn't move.
Wow.
I had no coordination. And then finally, when my coordination came back, I was able to throw a 1-2 and like slow him down a little bit.
How did you regroup though? Because I mean, most people, they're done after that. A kick from Jose Aldo to the head.
Listen, I'm going to give it up to my brother Faraz for pushing the conditioning. Of course, it was the best shape of my life. Like we did everything we could. I did everything possible to be in the best shape of my life, and Faraz pushed it every day for me. He made sure I was at my best, and also Mindset Mike. We do drills like that where we go over what's the worst thing that can happen, and we work on the mindset aspect of how do we get it back. He always tells me, he's like, "What's the worst thing that can happen?" I tell him, "Well, I get rocked or I get dropped." He tells me, "Okay, how do you get back?" I'm like, "Well, I got to make space. I got to clear my head, and I got to win the next exchange. And then I got to win the next 15 seconds, and I got to build back. And then not only did I win the next exchange and then the next 15 seconds, I won the next 3 minutes, right? So the mindset stuff really works for me."
I loved what you had to say afterwards about being in the blue corner for the first time and having to wait for him to walk out. Did that just occur to you in the moment because you were having to wait there for so long, or did you realize this beforehand?
No, I knew it before because when they sent me, they told me I was in the blue corner. I'm like, "Oh, this has never happened before."
Wow.
But like we know, obviously with the all the mindset training, I'm there so much tougher mentally that like I don't have to be superstitious about anything. And my wife, it was the first time back in the audience after a 5-year break, after my 5-fight win streak. I let her come for this 6th one since it was in Montreal. I didn't know if they'd ever come back to Montreal, so we got her floor tickets for the fight. And she was ecstatic. And I got to see her on my walkout after the win. Shaking the fans' hands. I spotted her. There's this cool video made by the UFC where they see I catch her and I give her a hug and everything. It was really beautiful. Great moment overall for me. And it was interesting. Like when I first got the fight, Kenny wrote to me. He told me he's got to get this guy.
Wow.
So me and Kenny spoke about the fight, and Kenny gave me like a whole like breakdown of Jose Aldo, like what to expect, what he does, what his tendencies are, and he also included like what my tendencies are, and what my strengths are, and like what to fight for, and like things like that. And and then he told me after the fight now that actually, if anybody's interested, you can go to kennyflorian.com and he can do breakdowns for you if you've got a big fight coming up.
Wow.
You can reach out to Kenny Florian on kennyflorian.com and he can help break down opponents for you.
That's brilliant. And he's one of the best minds. And I loved how you shouted him out. We got him. 14 years later.
We got him, baby. 14 years later.
because you were Jose Aldo, right?
I will never forget.
That because you were him, right? When Kenny was fighting Jose for the belt, you mimicked Jose for the entire training camp.
Look at this guy. I was Jose 14 years ago.
Incredible.
I'm fighting Jose. Can you believe it?
There was something beautiful about the whole thing because I felt like, and correct me if you feel otherwise, I felt like for the longest time, you were that guy at TriStar who didn't really get the attention. You were happy to be the guy who helped everyone prepare for their moment, happy to be Faraz's younger brother, happy to be with GSP and with Kenny and Rory and whoever comes by. But now here you were, it was your time. In your city, in your arena, you were front and center. And it felt like I know you've had big fights in the UFC, Edmonton, etc., but this felt like you coming out of the shadows. And there was something beautiful about that.
Yeah, actually, I totally agree with you. And also because I love my team. I have a team mentality. And I was talking to my friends and my teammates before this fight, like during training camp. And I was telling them, like, listen, at the end of the day, I understand that I fight in the cage alone. and nobody can intercede. Not the fans, not the journalists, not my teammates, not my brother. No one can get involved in the actual fighting portion. But without my team, I ain't making it this far. Without Firas, there's no money in the world that can pay. I can pay Firas, for the effort he gives me. Whatever money I give Firas, it's a drop in the bucket for the effort and the love he gives. The support he gives, and how much GSP cares, how much my sparring partners care about me, how much everyone comes in and is dedicated for the 2 months that I have a training camp. That the guys, they show up to practice. So big shout out to Xavier Aloui and Tariq Ismail and Yanis Azar for really stepping up for this training camp. They made it to the sparrings. They gave me the time. They gave me the effort. Without you guys, I can't win. I can't win these moments. I can't have these moments. My wife, my kids, my family support, my friends all around me, guys. In the end, I'm in the arena. I'm fighting alone, but I wouldn't be there without any of you. So thank you to everybody.
How close was it to not happening on Friday? Were you worried that this was all going to be taken away?
I mean, it was off.
It was off.
I mean, yeah, the fight was off because I didn't know this, but so when they called me, you want me to tell you the story?
Please, yes, of course. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, so I'm cutting weight, right? And then like the way I do it is I do tub and then I do like under the wrap.
Yeah.
And I was in my last wrap, and we get the call, and they're like, "Oh, stop cutting." And for us, like, what do you mean stop cutting? And then they told them, like, "Well, Jose Aldo is 145. He can't make it to 136." And for us, like, "Oh my God, okay, guys, stop. Aiemann, get dried up and get on the scale. Let's see how much you weigh." So I get on the scale. I'm 136.8, man. So if I would have finished the wrap that I was in, I would have made weight 136. I was right there. And they're telling us he's 145. So then they told us, listen, there's a rule in Montreal. The Montreal Commission can't allow a fight to happen if there's a 5-pound disparity. So during the negotiation process, like I was in my hotel room, they're like, listen, just start drinking water. You gotta put on a few pounds, or else we can't even make a deal. And I was like, oh man, I was like, okay. So I start, rehydrating and stuff. And then it was awkward because like 8 pounds a lot.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
I don't know. It's a lot of weight. And like, I just saw like the last week, Chris Eubank Jr. missed by 0.5 and he had to pay his opponent something like $500,000.
Yes.
And I feel like the casual fans, to them, it's just a number. Oh, 8 pounds, who cares? But in the military, they do studies on the soldiers, and they find it unethical to dehydrate the soldiers more than 2%. But what they've done is when they dehydrate their soldiers 2% and they run them through the exercises, they notice that with a 2% dehydration, they lose 6% in performance. So for every 2% of dehydration, it's 3x performance. You're losing 3 times more in performance, right? So I lost 8 pounds more of water. And the biggest worry for us was, how am I gonna, like, is he gonna be able to withstand or absorb the shots better than me? Because he has he didn't lose those extra 8 pounds. He has 8 more pounds of fluid. Because you lose fluid from all over your body. You're not just losing fluid from your arms and legs. You're losing fluid from your brain as well. Now we're rehydrating. We got the 36 hours or whatever. We're both gonna bounce back up. We're both gonna rehydrate. But because I lost 8 pounds more, am I gonna have less protection for the KO? That's kind of what was going through my mind. And in the end, I'm the one who got dropped, not him. So it was like that's what it was. So we spoke with Sean Shelby. For us, spoke to Sean Shelby directly to make the deal, and Sean Shelby gave me a really good deal. And I said yes, man. I said yes. I risked it all. I risked it all. And I want to say this quote because I was saying this quote for the 2 months in training camp, and it goes something like this. It's when God wanted to make David king, he didn't send him a crown. He sent him Goliath. And Jose Aldo was my Goliath, and him missing weight, added to making him even bigger of an adversity. Gave me even more adversity, and then getting dropped in the fight made it even more adversity for me, and I overcame all of it. So like now I feel like people can call me the king of Montreal.
Hey, I love it. I love it. I freaking love it. If this fight wasn't happening in Montreal, like if it was in some random city, do you think you would have declined? I would imagine there was some part of you that's like, I have to fight this fight because everyone's involved. This is my big opportunity, right?
Well, they had me between a rock and a hard place, man.
Yeah.
Like my city, it's my city. I got to defend my city. That's how I was thinking it. And like, everybody loves him. Like everybody loves Aldo. Like I get it. He deserves the love. And like everyone was telling me all week, we're going to root for you, but please don't hurt him. please don't hurt. Canadians are so sweet. They're so nice. They're so nice. But the moment he had the chance to rip my head off, you see him soccer kick me right in the head a couple of times, guys. Next time I'm fighting somebody, if you're Canadian, you gotta be all in on my team. Don't tell me to carry nobody because they're trying to rip my head off out there. You know what I mean? But yeah, it definitely played a role that it was in my city and it was such a big opportunity. And where I was placed on the card too, that plays a role. Like so many people are gonna watch this fight. This fight could really carry a lot of weight and it could really propel me. Like if I didn't take the fight, who are they going to give me next? Was it going to be as big of a name as Aldo? Who's a bigger name than Aldo?
No.
Right?
It was gigantic. Yeah, no, it was a dream scenario.
I was kind of cornered in a way.
Yeah.
But I would say that Sean Shelby hooked it up, and I'm happy.
Did you feel like his announcement afterwards took away from your moment?
I mean, not really. I mean, I feel like the way the fight went kind of had a lot to do with his decision making.
Okay.
Also, like I don't feel like he takes away from me at all. I feel like I feel great about that win, man. I feel great to share that moment with him. And when I saw him backstage, for all his fans and everyone who's talking bad about me now and telling me I don't deserve anything, and
they're talking bad about you.
Yeah, people are really crushing me right now online, and I want to tell you all one thing. When I saw Aldo backstage, he showed me nothing but love, man. I told him I love him. I told him he'll never be forgotten. He'll always be a legend. And he was nothing but nice to me. We asked him for a group picture. And then after the group picture, he asked me for a one-on-one picture because I'm the last guy he's ever going to fight. And he wants a picture with me. And he showed me nothing but love. I think he's a sweetheart. And I don't think he'd be happy, knowing that you guys are, just running me through the coals.
No, screw that, man. You fought your heart out. Like, ultimately, if it's because they don't agree with the judge's decision, that has nothing to do with you. That has nothing to do with you. Like you went out there and fought and freaking survived, and
I gave everything I have. My whole heart was in that fight. I was telling everybody all week, I'm gonna leave everything in there. I'm gonna leave every ounce of my heart in that octagon, and I feel like I did. It
was beautiful seeing GSP back there. Even seeing some of the legends like Rory back. I haven't seen Rory at an
David
MMA.
Loiseau came. So many guys.
All to see you.
Yeah. Listen, I'm. People were wondering if I was going to be intimidated by Aldo, but in a weird way, I've been surrounded by so many kings too. Like GSP is a king, David Loiseau is a king, Rory's a king, Miguel Angel Torres is a king, Kenny Florian's a king. I've been surrounded by so many greats. So like, and all these guys think I have a chance. Even GSP. I always, my corner is always for us, and that's for sure. And then the third man is always who I think I need to help me give me that mental edge for the fight, And I put GSP there because GSP thinks I can win the title, and to have somebody like him, one of the greatest of all time, believe in me. I want to put him in there, and I thought he'd be a lot more quiet throughout the fight and in the corner, but man, he was definitely a second coach. Like he was trying to coach me throughout the entire fight, and even backstage and. Fight week, he would call me and tell me to do things and to practice some mental things. Like I remember on Wednesday, I was going for a walk to buy groceries, and he called me. He's like, "Hey man," he's like, "I'm gonna do a little bit of his accent." Okay, he's like, "Hey man," he's like, "You're gonna have all these thoughts going through your mind. Never let a thought finish negatively. Every negative thought, you make it positive. You make it positive." I was like, "Yes, George, I'm gonna make it positive, baby." So he's giving me tips and tricks throughout the whole week. He was super involved. And he's a real mensch too. Like before fight week, he has a lot of things to promote the UFC event. And he called me. He's like, "Hey man," he's like, "What days do you need me?" I'm like, "Listen, I need you Saturday night." He's like, "Okay, are you sure you don't need me during the week because I have sponsorship stuff and I can cancel them?" I'm like, no, make as much money as possible. I'll see you on Saturday. Be there for me Saturday. And if you see him in my corner, he's very animated in my corner, man. He's yelling, he's coaching, he's screaming at me, "Be relentless. Be relentless." He was very invested in the fight.
There was something beautiful about all of it. And I even heard that as Aldo was walking out, you went up to everyone that you could, Bruce, the referee, just telling them how much you loved all of this. Like there was nothing, no part of you that was intimidated by the moment. In fact, you were sort of like reveling the moment.
Yeah, like my last fight with the mindset coach, I was numb to everything. And he told me it was incredible that, how detached I was for everything. But he told me, he's like, you can still smile. Like you can be numb to everything and still enjoy it a little bit. Like you can be numb, but enjoying, not numb and negative, but numb and enjoying. So in that moment, because the first time I was in the blue corner, was the first time I was sitting in the octagon waiting for my opponent. And I kind of didn't know what to do. And I was like, you know what? Maybe I should just take it all in and enjoy it, because one day I'll never be back in here, you know? So I looked at Firas and I walked up to him first. And when I shook his hand, I told him I love this. And then I went up to GSP and I told him I love this. We should have seen the confidence in Firas's face when I walked up to him in that moment, and like all the tension in the room, you know. And I went and I grabbed his hand, and his face lit up. And then I went to George. He's like, George couldn't believe that I was taking that moment to tell him that.
Wow.
You know, because George always talks about how afraid he is. You know, even like on the drive there, he was telling me, he's like, "Were you able to sleep last night?" I said, "Yeah, I slept like a baby." He's like, "I could never sleep. I'm so afraid." Then I went up to Neil, I did it. Then I went up to Bruce Buffer, and I did the same thing to Bruce Buffer. And Bruce Buffer told me, he's like, "You got it, brother. You got it." You know, so that even gave me some confidence because Bruce has seen a lot of guys in there too.
Yeah.
And I did it to the referee, and then after I shook everyone's hand in there, I just couldn't wait for Aldo to get in the octagon. I couldn't wait for the fight to get started.
Wow.
And I wanted to live that moment. I wanted to be in there with him. I couldn't wait to tango with him.
A moment you'll be talking about for the rest of your days.
Yeah.
I mean, if you talk about like a holy crap highlight reel moment, that was it. Just curious, you did say Marlon Vera on Saturday. 2 days later, I know he has a fight coming up, but it's in just a couple of weeks. Would that be the ideal scenario for you, Chito Vera, if he gets a win in June here in Newark?
Yeah, I like the matchup, man. Listen, it's not a disrespectful call out. I don't hate him. I don't love him. I'm nothing. Just normal.
Yeah, makes sense.
I think it's a good matchup. I think it'd be good. It's forward in the rankings. Ariel, what I really want is to just keep moving forward. I think that's for me the most important thing. You know, like let's keep the momentum going. Let's get the Canadians move down the rankings. I feel like if you listen, this is the first time, Ariel, like in an arena where I'm fighting, I can't hear Firas tell me the time. Like Firas, sometimes he'll be like, "Okay, 3.5 minutes to go," or 2 minutes 45 left. He'll say something like that, and I couldn't hear anything, guys. The ambiance in there, the noise, the fans cheering, Zahabi, ole ole, they're cheering all kinds of stuff. They're going crazy. It was so loud. Like I barely heard Firas on Saturday. I was mostly hearing GSP, and it was because GSP was screaming at me. If he wasn't screaming, I wasn't hearing it. Because Firas usually speaks very like a normal tone, because he doesn't want me to get excited. Doesn't want me to get too crazy. So he speaks normal. But I couldn't hear it at that volume. The volume of the stadium was incredible. The atmosphere was insane. Ariel, were you there live?
I was not there. No, I was home.
Oh, man, you missed something amazing.
I know. I felt I had FOMO. I felt it. It's the first Montreal event that I wasn't at, and that's no knock on you. Please don't take it personally. But I was happy to see the Montreal crowd show up, because there was some talk about the tickets beforehand, and the last time they were there, it wasn't the best crowd, and it seemed electric. It seemed like the people, and as I thought going into it, your fight would be the one to bring the most out of them.
Yeah, I think at the end of my fight, we had a standing ovation.
Amazing.
We had a huge standing ovation. It was incredible, and it was really cool because when I rewatched the fight, I didn't realize during the fight, but when I rewatched the fight, I saw Dana and Hunter there, and they were standing up and clapping with everybody else. Like everybody was standing on their feet at the end of our fight. So I feel like we gave the crowd an incredible fight. I thought maybe it'd be fight of the night. I wasn't able to watch Bilal's fight. I was stuck doing media and stuff backstage. But I'm happy for Bilal that and him and Jack Madalena got the bonus. I'm proud of them. I just thought maybe we could have earned the bonus too, because it was such a wild round 3.
Yeah, it reminded me of Hominick versus Aldo back in the day. But in the end, the Canadian got the victory.
We did it this time, guys.
Yeah.
We did it. And when I was elbowing him in round 3 and the crowd started cheering, Zahabi, Zahabi, it was incredible. When I first got the call, I told everybody, I'm like, he's a human being. He's got 1 head, 2 arms, and 2 legs, and he breathes air, and he gets tired, and he bleeds, and we made him get tired, and we made him bleed, and we pushed him to his absolute limit. You know what I mean? I feel like, we broke him by the end of the fight.
Well done. Congratulations. Really impressive stuff. Again, I still feel weird. It's so many people came up to me, man, about like, "Oh, are you fighting?" Like even at my gym, someone was like, "I saw on Instagram. I thought it was you." I feel like I'm like, I just want to let you know, I don't try to promote this because you are the warrior. I am just a dude sitting here. You deserve all the credit and praise. It's funny.
You're my guy, Ariel.
I know. Much love. And
by the way,
like
in the end, we're a team, Ariel. Me and you were a team now.
I know. We're linked together.
You're part of the team AZ. Did you see this meme? This was the best meme that came out. I was dying of laughter when I saw this meme, man. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Ariel, part of my team now, brother.
I appreciate that. And by the way, I watched the fight.
Really.
I watched the fight while we were talking, and I think you won the fight. I just want to let you know I rewatched it just now.
Well, I appreciate the vote of confidence now. But if you can, seriously though, I would love to.
I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch it tonight.
Watch it. Let me know, and then let me know. Like if you notice that round 2, I walked him down the entire way, and then one thing that I didn't realize this until because I do those YouTube lives, guys. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. By the way, I just thought of it now. But when I do the YouTube lives, I didn't know. Somebody in my chat told me, but it's actually unofficial the numbers that they show you during the fight.
Yes.
And on the UFC website later, they actually compile the actual stats. So Aaron Brossetter posted the actual stats of my fight, and the numbers were way off from what they were showing you live. The fight was so much, the strikes landed were so much closer, and I had landed a better percentage of strikes. I threw a little bit less, but I landed a higher percentage. And in round 2, I landed the more significant strikes, in my opinion. You guys have to watch the fight again and see. And it's just really interesting that people should remember that the stats that they show you throughout the fight, during the fight, are unofficial.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course.
And they fix those numbers up after. Yeah, I didn't know. I just found that out a few weeks ago during one of my live streams.
Well, people should go check that out. I guess just put in your name on YouTube and your channel comes up.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, guys, thank you. I would like that. Thanks.
Well done. Congratulations. Looking forward to the next one. Enjoy this one. You certainly deserved it. You earned it. And way to represent. Way to represent the 514.
Thanks for always having me on the show.
Of course.
Thanks for being a part of the team, man. Okay, you're a mensch. I appreciate everything.
Much love. Thank you, Aiemann. There he is, the great Aiemann Zahabi. Coming up in a matter of seconds, we have a few big guests, but he deserves all the love. All the love, all the respect in the world. What a performance. And I'm going to rewatch it. I meant to do it last night, but I didn't have a chance. Mother's Day and whatnot. But it was a great fight. And he is right. He does deserve a bonus because that was an incredible performance. And go back and watch UFC 129 against Mark Hominick. Very similar ending. But again, in the end, the local guy got it done. Massive moment. Maybe the biggest moment in Montreal MMA since GSP Condit, GSP Diaz. Those back-to-backs. All right, let us move along now and say hello to our next guest. Going to be joined by 2 off the bat here, and they really need no introduction, although just a couple of weeks ago, they made some massive news in the world of wrestling. Not pro wrestling, but real American freestyle wrestling. They announced that they'll be launching this brand new promotion, which will kick off in August in Cleveland, giving an opportunity to collegiate wrestlers, amateur wrestlers, Olympic wrestlers to not have to go down the path of pro wrestling or mixed martial arts like has been the case in the past, but to actually continue down this wrestling path, if you will. I hate to call it amateur wrestling because that makes it seem like it's less than, but that's how some people would categorize it. In the end, though, it's going to be something very interesting to watch, progress, and evolve. We do have 2/3 of the founders of Real American Freestyle Wrestling joining us. Again, 2 individuals who need no introductions, legends in their own right. The great Eric Bischoff and the one and only Hulk Hogan joining us right now. Gentlemen, thank you so much for doing this. Appreciate it. Congratulations on the launch. It's great to see you both again. Hulk, I'll start with you. Can you take us back to the beginning, the embryonic stages? How does this all come across your radar? How does this all kick off for you?
Well, I've got a new way to call it. It's pro wrestling.
Okay, there it is. Double pro.
Pro wrestling. This is pro wrestling, brother. This is the elite of the elite. It came across the radar, because we're always looking for these openings, like when a beer company dropped its marketing plan, made a mistake. We started Real American Beer, and there was an open lane. The George Foreman Grill was like an open lane. Wish I'd have been a little quicker on that one. But then all of a sudden, when we were looking at TV and stuff, we saw what was going on with UFC, of course, what was going on with the company that I'm with, WWE. And we kind of saw, because Eric's been all over the place as far as producing TV and being part of it and actually running one of the largest companies ever at the time, back in the 90s when I was part of it. We saw that reality TV and scripted stuff wasn't as strong as the new stuff that was taking off, sports. And all of a sudden, TV sports such as Shaun White's snowboarding league, such as the girls' volleyball league, those type of things were starting to take off and get a lot of traction. And all of a sudden, somewhere in between UFC and WWE, there was a market that was really underserved, and that was the amateur wrestlers, the gold medalists, the Olympians, the NCAA champions, the world's champions they would spend their whole life doing something they loved from 4 or 5 years old. And then when they get to the peak of their career and they'd won a gold medal or they became the NCAA champion or 10-time world champion, there was nowhere else to go. So when we saw that, we basically, Eric and I started talking with our partner, Chad, and we didn't want to compete with the UFC. We didn't want to compete with WWE, but we wanted the opportunity to be as big as them. And, we put our heads together and we started this freestyle league. And all of a sudden, man, it's like jumping on that lightning bolt of Hulkamania. We made the announcement. Everybody's coming to the table. So it's really exciting. And that's kind of like where the key got turned.
Eric, I know we spoke maybe just a couple of months ago, and you were telling me you're happy. Life is good. You've got your podcast, 83 Weeks, your YouTube channel. You make the appearance here or there. Now you're jumping into the deep end, launching a brand new promotion, which takes a lot of time and effort. Why do you want to be a part of this?
It's a little bit like getting the opportunity to take over WCW. Although WCW was around before I got there, but I had the unique opportunity to try to turn that company around and did, which is almost the same thing as what we're doing here. For me, it amounts to the opportunity to build something and to do something that no one else has ever done. That's, I'm an entrepreneur by nature. I have been my entire life. And when there's an opportunity to do something that's never been done before, do it on a large scale, and particularly do it in an area like freestyle wrestling, because I've just got so much respect for the athletes. I put my toe in the water in high school and, after high school for a couple of years in Greco and freestyle. I was never really very good. On my best day, I was pretty average, but I loved it. And I got to know the people in it and really respect them for being the individuals they are and just how physically demanding and tough these athletes are. So when Hulk gave me a call and Chad, and it was like, wait a minute, you mean you want to know if I'm interested in an opportunity to help build a new sport? Not that the sport is new, but the opportunity is to build a new opportunity and create a professional sports league, something that's never been done before in this category. Oh, hell yeah, count me in. And I couldn't be more grateful.
Hulk, as you know, sometimes when we see things of this nature get announced, launch with celebrities of your stature, mega celebrities, they're more just figureheads. They just kind of put their name attached to it and go on and worry about another project. How involved are you actually going to be in this promotion?
Well, I'm there, boots on the ground. The weird thing is, me not being an amateur wrestler, it's really strange. But I've been around so many of these great amateur wrestlers that have crossed over into the pro wrestling business, such as a Brock Lesnar or Kurt Angle. And there are so many of them that at the end of the day, I didn't realize, because I'm an old man now, I'm 71 years old, but I didn't realize how many of these amateur wrestlers actually grew up watching Hulk Hogan. And I didn't realize what a bond I had with him, because some of these guys, like my stepson right now, he's 16. He got into amateur wrestling because he was out in Madison Square Garden with me when I was making a huge announcement in the Garden a few months ago. And he heard the crowd and he goes, "Oh my gosh, Dad, what was it like when you wrestled?" I said, "It was like that, but louder." And so I had no idea that all these amateur wrestlers basically were really kind of like hooked into me one way or the other, or felt like they knew me one way or the other. So for me to be able to sit there with Eric's vision and for Eric to be able to tell these backstories and watch these guys at home and how they got to where they are, I really feel that one of the things I was really worried about is when I met all these wrestlers, we went to Ohio and Wisconsin, we met with all the coaches and the teams and stuff. I was worried that it would just be like flat. But these kids have been watching TV. They've been watching wrestling. They've been watching UFC. They've been watching Conor McGregor. And all these kids that I didn't know what to expect, they all got that swagger, man. And so I think that somewhere along the line, I don't want to create like superstars. I want mega stars out of these guys, because these guys are the real deal. And when I say it's pro wrestling, it really is. And so I think I have a connection with these guys, and I think I can help them. Not with the amateur wrestling stuff, but with everything else that goes along with that. Organically nobody's going to be a bad cop or, Doink the Clown or something like that. These guys are going to organically grow into these mega stars, and they're going to start feeling their oats. And I really, really think that I can have a lot to do with helping them like that.
Eric, for you, in the year 2025, if you don't have some kind of rights deal, streaming deal, TV deal, it's hard to, get your entity off the ground. I know it was just announced a couple of weeks ago, and you've been asked about this, but would be remiss if I don't ask you, what are the plans in terms of how this will be broadcast to the world?
Well, there's two answers. In the short term, as a matter of fact, as soon as we're done with this, I have a call with a major platform that everybody would know about and recognize. We may end up there, we may not. We are going to end up on a platform on August 30th. We're in discussions. I don't even want to call them negotiations. I want to be really straightforward with you on this. We're in discussions with two different platforms. Like I said, one in the next 45 minutes. I'm confident that we're going to land a streaming opportunity, and it may be cable or broadcast. But time will tell. It's a challenge in that, the exciting thing about creating something new and something that nobody's ever done before is, if you're successful, it's a major accomplishment. The downside is you've got to convince somebody that, you've got to convince a network or a platform that your vision is real and that we can execute on it and we can build on it. But so far, those conversations have gone great. I'm not concerned that we won't have a platform. I'm only concerned with which one it will be and how it will work for us.
Okay, so that is something to look out for. Could I ask you, Hulk, a very pointed question, but running a promotion, launching one isn't cheap. Who's the money behind this? Who's paying for all these great athletes that you guys are signing and putting on these big events?
Eric is.
Okay.
No, just kidding. No, just kidding. We're funded by Left Lane Capital, and they basically are in the live sports. They started the Sean White. We talked about that earlier. The Sean White snowboarding league, the girls volleyball, the guys that actually play chess. They've got a whole league for that too. So they were really excited when we stepped up to the line with this idea, and they're the horsepower behind us.
Okay. Eric, I know that you are somewhat, you're a student of the game, and you probably know that there was a promotion some 23 or so years ago called Real Pro Wrestling that tried to launch something like this back in the day, and they had names like Daniel Cormier and King Muhammad Lawal, and in the end, they didn't really get off the ground. They didn't have great success. Anything that you guys have learned from what they did or didn't do that you're hoping to implement with your promotion?
Not familiar with what their efforts were, certainly familiar in their attempt. So I can't really analyze what they've done and what we can learn from that. But in my experience, look, we know we have a good idea. The reason most good ideas don't succeed is because they're either not well funded, we don't have that issue, or they have a challenge in execution. I don't think we've got a problem there either. Don't want to sound cocky. We know we've got our work cut out for us. Creating the drama that we need to create to attract a mainstream television audience, not just amateur wrestling friends and family, but I'm talking about a mainstream audience so that we can be successful long-term and create sponsorship opportunities and create the megastars, as Hulk was referring to. That takes more than just putting people on TV. We've got to want to know these characters. And that's one of the things that we're going to focus on. We're going to learn about these people. We're going to learn what drives them. We're going to learn about their successes. We're going to spend more time learning about their challenges and failures. We're going to do all the things we can do to bring these characters to life so that people can connect and relate to them. And we've got a lot to work with. I'll be scheduling some interview time with Kennedy Blades here within the next couple of hours. So anxious to sit down with her and capture her because she's an amazing young woman. I just can't wait. And she's just one of many of these elite athletes that we know we can bring to the mainstream. But it's going to take time. It's going to take work. But again, we're well funded. I think everybody has an appreciation for the amount of time, work, and effort that's going to go into this. And it's going to be a challenge, but I feel really, really good about it.
Hulk, you don't need me to tell you this, but I think you're in a real interesting point in your life and career, because I think that there's a sector of people who were with you in the 80s, who rided with you, who will always ride with you and always support you. And obviously there are some fans who don't feel that same way anymore, who have turned against you, and we see you at Raw and they boo you when you come out. But then there are other fans who want to support your beer or whatever product that you're attached to. How do you feel, without beating around the bush, how do you feel about your relationship with the public right now, your relationship with the people, especially coming off the last time we saw you on a major stage was that Netflix show back in January at the Intuit Dome?
Well, they're still nipping at my heels. I can go out there and get booed. As actually the last time I was in LA, I was Hollywood Hogan with a black beard and doing the bad guy thing. I can go out there and get booed in LA, or The Rock can get booed in LA, or John Cena gets booed in LA. But when I get booed, there's a whole different reaction media-wise. For some reason, I've laid some type of groundwork that people are still interested in what I'm doing. And so for those that are on the team and are riding with the train to the station, that's great. For those that are the haters and still have a problem with me, there's nothing I can do to fix that except, just keep proving by my actions that, I'm still in the game. I'm still pushing hard. I took a lot of time off because I had like 25 surgeries and I was down for a long time. And, I've always loved the hunt. I've always loved to get back in the game, but it's always been that way with me because my whole career, I had that top spot no matter what it was. Even through the 80s, it was the fastest draw. During the 80s, it was just a situation where everybody was knocking me. Everybody was trying to knock me off that top spot. I'll trade that for not being on the bottom of the card, if you know what I'm saying, or being on the bottom of the pile of life. So for me, it's just part of the territory. I mean, it's kind of like, when you get booed and then you get 3.2 billion engagements all of a sudden, and you rock that whole world in LA with how much interaction there was on the internet. I'll take it.
Okay, so after that, you didn't view that as some sort of like indictment on the state of your career, how people feel about you. You felt like they were just booing the character?
Oh, no. All the above. There are certain people that, boo the character. There are certain WWE superstars that had an opinion and they had advice for me. But I would like to ask those same guys when I go to New York or Chicago and the people cheer, out of the rooftops, I would like to know what their advice is then and what their opinion is. So it's a double-edged sword with me. And it's always been that way. It's part of the character. It's part of, me personally. It's part of my professional life. It's part of my personal life. It's all the above. I mean, and at the end of the day, I'm just like an old scarred up seal with a bunch of scars on me. And I'm really relatable to most normal people because a lot of people have been through a lot of stuff I have professionally. A lot of people have made not the same mistakes, but personally made mistakes. And I'm still relatable to so many people. If they boo me, fine. If they're on the team lead, that's great too. So not hating on anybody, brother. I'm still here. I'm still moving forward. And it's kind of like the old Rocky movie. It depends on how hard you can get hit, get back up and keep moving forward. And brother, I'm always leaning into the wind.
I appreciate that. You guys teased that there was a third man. Let's bring in the third man. And he is someone who knows this world of wrestling better than anyone. I've known him for a very long time myself, has coached some of the greatest MMA fighters of all time. And of course, some of the greatest Olympic and collegiate wrestlers of all time. Israel Martinez now joining us. Hello, Izzy. How are you, my man?
I'm good, brother. How are you, man? Good to see you.
It's great to see you. And so let me ask you, when you got the call regarding teaming up with Eric Bischoff and Hulk Hogan to launch something like this about a sport that is so near and dear to your heart, what was your initial reaction?
Well, it's kind of a crazy story. Hulk has a partner in the beer business, Chad Bronstein, and Chad brought his son to our wrestling school, kind of built a small relationship with him, and we were kind of pitching back and forth this idea. And, in the meantime, I was building a relationship with Hulk Hogan and going on some of his beer tours and just got a chance to connect with the Hulk and just, see how badass he was and his passion for life. And, I was explaining to him my passion for the sport of wrestling and MMA. And, there was always there was something to do there with Chad in the background, kind of putting it all together. We kind of presented Hulk, and Hulk's like, man, I ain't going anywhere without my boy Eric Bischoff. So it was a fast dream kind of come true with a lot of guys that I respect the heck out of, and that, I believe that we could take the sport forward. When it was an idea, it was an unbelievable idea for me, because I always dream of building the sport better and leaving it a better place. And I knew that we could do something powerful with Eric Bischoff and Hulk Hogan and Chad Bronstein.
Hulk, I saw you on Fox News. You refer to Izzy as sort of like your source, your plug to this world. He's the guy that's getting you all the big names, and you've announced some of them already. David Carr, Kyle Dake, Eric mentioned, he mentioned Kennedy as well, Kennedy Blade. So
Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. Is that accurate? Like, is he kind of
No, it is completely accurate. I mean, Izzy's the linchpin. I mean, this is all about relationships. Life's all about relationships. And he's been in the game so long that, when we went to Izzy, Izzy kind of like built the foundation of this whole situation for us to get to these wrestlers, to talk to them, to tell them what our plan was. If it wasn't for Izzy, we'd still be stuck in the mud, but Izzy's the one that laid out the groundwork, and he had the relationship. He approached these wrestlers and told them what our vision was. And Izzy's got so much stock in the game, and people, believe in him so much, they took a second look when Izzy spoke to him. So I call him our linchpin.
Not trying to put you on the spot here, Eric, but sometimes this is how it goes. One of the names that was announced as being part of the promotion is Kyle Snyder, but we found out this morning that he was arrested. Is he still going to be a part of the promotion?
Yeah, I just I read about that about an hour ago. Actually, I've been on the phone all morning, and so look, we'll talk about it internally. I don't know enough about it, the facts, to comment on it here. Other than to say, I don't know how old Kyle is, but, as a young man or woman, once you start reaching certain levels of success in life and people know who you are, it becomes even more critical that you are careful in the way you conduct yourself, whether it's in the business or away from the business. And I'm sure Kyle is, just based on the headlines. I've never met him. I don't know him. But I'm pretty sure I'm right that he's embarrassed. Friends and family probably very embarrassed. And like I said, we'll figure it out. We'll take a look at it and discuss amongst us what's the best course of action given the information. But that's all I know for right now.
Fair enough. One name that jumped out to me, Izzy, was Ben Askren. Is Ben Askren coaching, or is he actually competing?
All right, so Ben, actually, we do a lot of business together with the Premier National League. We built a 32 team league in the United States of all the best clubs. So Ben's like I am. I mean, he wrestles every day with the guys. He loves wrestling. We always talk about growing the sport. We always talk about doing something really cool. And when this opportunity was available, it was a no-brainer to bring Ben in. I mean, Ben took some bad couple losses, and he's better than that. So I think also just with his he's been on every card. He knows what's going on in the sport. Just to be an advisor was the first step I had with Ben. And then I was teasing him like, hey, Ben, I got a couple guys that you could wrestle. And Ben's like, man, I'd actually love to wrestle. So that's kind of where we are right now. Ben's going to wrestle a couple matches. He's a huge part of this, just in the backs, building relationships with us, getting us Parker Keckeisen, getting us certain guys from his team. And also he wants to compete. He can wrestle. I've seen him practice a couple times. I'd like to see him battle too, and I'm sure the fans do.
Hulk, there's a team element to collegiate wrestling and also Olympic wrestling. It's Team USA versus Team, Canada, etc. But one thing that I think combat sports, especially when you get to like prize fighting, it's very individual. It's all about like you versus that guy, who's the better man. Are you guys going to go more team based, or is it going to be like the UFC, for example, every man, woman for themselves, rankings, and then a champion at the top of a weight class?
Brother, I'm laughing under my breath. When we were naming wrestlers, did I say Aaron Rodgers, the football player, or Aaron Brooks?
You said Rodgers, but I didn't want to correct you. You're the Hulkster.
I'm sorry.
No, it's all good.
Oh, I'm
That'd be
sorry,
big
no.
news, by the way.
Aaron Rodgers may be looking for work a little bit later in the season.
Yeah, I'll tell you, Ariel, we're going to do individual format based like the UFC. We're going to have champions. We're going to have belts. We're going to do the storylines. We're going to do it as best we can to showcase the greatest sport in the world, wrestling. Whether it's scripted or unscripted, it's the greatest sport in the world.
Okay, so Izzy, can I ask you, can guys like Wyatt Hendrickson, who just won the heavyweight championship, can collegiate athletes sign with you guys as well, or do they have to have been graduated?
So we're actually we're talking to all the top wrestlers. We've signed 30, almost 40 wrestlers so far. We have some of the top athletes. We got an NIL deal for the college athletes that are currently in college. And we also got a couple of high school NIL deals out to the top high school wrestlers in the world. So it's going to be awesome. We got the best of the best.
Okay, that is Gable Steveson. I think is another name that people would love to see involved as well. So there's a lot of big names out there. I don't want to keep you guys too long because I know you have a big meeting coming up. Eric, you alluded to that. But Hulk, I'd be remiss if I don't ask you, because we were just talking about this a couple of weeks ago. We were comparing Cena's turn to your turn in '96. My hypothesis, I guess my take on it all was nothing will ever be bigger than your turn. And I'm not just saying it because you're here. You can go back and find the clip. Yours was seismic. Yours changed the industry. No one saw it coming. I could go on, but no one better than you to ask this question to. Can you compare your turn in '96? Going to Hollywood, Hogan, joining the NWO. Eric was a huge part of that as well. Shout out to my friend Mark Ramundi, who has his book coming out next month called what is it? Say Hello to the Bad Guys.
Say Hello to the Bad Guys.
Tremendous book. To what John Cena did just a couple of months ago.
Well, I think when Eric and I pulled that off on the Daytona Bash at the beach, I think it was really organic, because when Scott Hall came in and then Kevin Nash came in, it actually looked like they were still working with the WWE or WWF. So that all of a sudden, when I came down as the third man, nobody knew more about that organization than me. And when I turned, and you feel that white heat where it gets quiet, and then all of a sudden they start throwing everything into the ring. I told Kevin and Scott, I said, there's a real good chance they could be coming here in a second. And when I saw me and Gene get hit in the nose with a battery and he was bleeding like a pig, I said, Gino, you need to get out of here because this could get real crazy. That was so intense that you could feel in that building how much hatred they had for me, for turning and destroying all the kids with the training prayers and vitamins. I did it for the money. It was just so evil. I think it had a whole different level of storytelling and stabbing someone in the back. The turn with Cena was good, but I think they were just two different things at two different times.
What do you think, Eric?
I think Hulk's right. The Who's the Third Man, which was incidentally Hulk's idea to kind of recreate the Who's the Third Man, to introduce Izzy and to get a lot of attention on this launch. And I think we got like 10.3, I don't even know, it was like millions and millions and millions of hits. So it was a good idea. But I think the reason it worked is because that turn was part of a storyline. Scott Hall came down. My big buddy's going to come next week. Kevin Nash shows up. Then for weeks, the whole story was who is their third man. With Cena's turn, it was more spontaneous. It wasn't a part of an arc. It was more of an angle, so to speak, more of an incident as opposed to part of a story. And I think because Hulk's was part of a story, number one, that successfully created a lot of anticipation. People were genuinely wanting to know who was that third man. And when Hulk Hogan came down in his red and yellow, and Randy Savage was laying on the mat, everybody assumed Hulk was there to make the save until he wasn't. And I think that dramatic turn of events based on a episodic story is what made that work so well. I think if Hulk Hogan would have turned spontaneously, it still would have had a major implication. But because it was part of a story, it has become legendary, and everything else is compared to it.
Hulk, you seem to have taken to it very well, being the bad guy. How would you grade how John has taken to it 2 months in?
Well, it's hard to explain because we ran as a pack. I mean, when we did stuff, when we were spray painting Ted Turner's TV trucks, I mean, we were doing stuff that was not in the script. It basically we were outside the lines, some of the stuff we did. We got kicked out of Disney because Kevin Nash took Rey Mysterio and he lawn darted him into the side of a trailer. I mean, the people that were watching live TV called the cops on us, and Disney put the boots to us. We ran as a pack, where in the beginning of this thing with Cena, it was Cena and The Rock who said cut his throat, and then it wasn't, it was more of Cena individually running, you know? So it's just hard to explain. You know, you'd had to be there, brother.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
I was just watching the other day, and Cena came out, and it was a tight shot on Cena. It was in front of a crowd. It was in a match, and the crowd is chanting "Thank you, Cena," while he's trying to get heat. You know, so I'm not sure the audience has really bought into it the same way that you really want them. You want that heat. We always use that term. We throw it around like everybody knows what it means. And I guess there's different degrees or variations of heat. But what Hulk had was they wanted to see him hurt. You know, they wanted to see Kevin and Scott, yours truly. They wanted to see us literally get our asses kicked, not like for pretend on TV. That's a different level of heat. And I don't think John's there yet.
Fair enough. Izzy, while we're talking business, is your guy John Jones going to fight Tom Aspinall? What can you tell us?
You know what? I got to call Brandon Gibson. You know, I get updates every now and then. He's doing great, but, you know, I'm focused. I got the P&L. Now we just started the Real American Freestyle, and the Izzy Wrestling School is bigger and better than ever. So, you know, I got a lot going on, but in my personal opinion, John fights him, John wins. I mean, John's the best fighter in the world, and there's nothing like him.
Last one for you, Hulk. Finally, how many events in 2025? What are you guys shooting for? And then 2026, can you lay the table for us here as far as what you guys are trying to launch?
Well, we've been talking about doing 10 to 12.
Wow.
I mean, that to me, that scares the hell out of me. But I think this first one's going to set the tone, and I think the timing's perfect. I think we're in the right place, Cleveland. So I really feel that we've got 4 or 5 in a row set up, right, Eric? Out of the chute.
Yeah, we're looking. I mean, on paper right now, we're looking at one event per month, and we're also looking at creating ancillary content. You know, non-scripted shows, much like you know The Ultimate Fighter did, and we've seen so many competition elimination formats work because that's an opportunity to bring these wrestlers into people's homes and get to know them and get to know the sport. You know, a lot of what we have to do is to educate the audience on what freestyle wrestling really is. If you go back 20 years ago and take 20 guys out of a bar and say, what's a rear naked choke, they would look at you like they wouldn't know what you're talking about. It sounds like something you'd see in a porn scene, right? Now you take 20 guys out of a bar and they'll demonstrate a rear naked choke. And that's because the UFC has done a great job of educating the audience as well as entertaining them with the sport. That's one of the things that we need to do too. So it's just going to be a fun journey, Ariel.
Well, I wish you guys the best. Good luck to you. Congrats on the launch. Good luck with all the meetings. Really curious to see where you end up as far as streaming platform, television network. That to me is a huge component to all of this. You all know that better than I do, and we will be watching. So good luck. Thank you, Hulk. Appreciate your time.
Ariel,
Yes.
brother, Ariel,
Yes.
would you please come to our first event?
Oh, wow. On the spot. You're putting me on the spot right now. Is this us coming together? Is this the handshake?
It could be, brother. It could be. You're going to be friends with me. You're going to get some heat. Get ready.
No, I know. Maybe I should take it back. I don't know. Maybe I should do one of these.
He's already friends with me, Hulk, so he's feeling it. So it's all good.
No, we'd love to have you there, brother.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much, and all the best to you guys. We'll definitely look to do that. That's August 30th in Cleveland, event number 1. So good luck. Thank you all for coming on. Appreciate the time very much.
Thank you,
and good luck in the next few months as well as you get ready to kick things off.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, man.
Thank you, brother.
There they are, the trio looking to launch Real American Freestyle Wrestling. Hulk Hogan is the lead commissioner. The chief media officer is Eric Bischoff. And the COO of Real American Freestyle is Israel Martinez. Has coached the likes of John Jones, Yair Rodriguez, Clay Guida, Holly Holm. Has been there alongside some of the best collegiate and Olympic wrestlers, certainly hailing from the United States. Going to be interesting. That Kyle Snyder story is a wild one. This just happened this morning. It came out this morning. Olympic gold medalist Kyle Snyder was arrested this past Friday by Columbus police as part of a prostitution sting in the city. Columbus police confirmed the arrest to MMA Fighting. I'm reading this on MMAfighting.com on Monday. After local outlet 10 TV first reported the news, Snyder, 29, was one of 16 men charged during the sting after police led an undercover operation to crack down on prostitution in Columbus. Police posted escort ads online as part of the operation and then used the responses to set up potential arrests. Snyder reportedly called and texted the number listed in the ad around 8:15 on Friday and agreed to meet the escort at a local hotel. After arriving, Snyder allegedly paid an undercover officer cash and requested oral sex, and he was then arrested for engaging in prostitution, released at the scene. He is due in court on May 19th. He was the youngest U.S. wrestler to capture gold in 2016, then won silver in 2020. Tried to get a third in 24, but fell short. So there you have it. Real American freestyle wrestling. Who's excited? Ultimately, it all comes down to the rights deal.
I'll give it a watch. I'm intrigued.
I'll see you in Cleveland, brother.
Yeah, here we go.
I mean,
we're gonna sit there in the front row with our Real American beer.
I'm in there.
Yeah, man.
You need a platform.
Yes.
A DAZN. Who knows? Is it a Warner Brothers? Is it a DAZN? Is it an Amazon? Is it, all the usual suspects?
Yep.
Or you initially go on YouTube and just get the word out there. There's obviously the Flow Wrestlings of the world who are big into this. There's the Fight TVs, or I guess it's the Triller TVs. But I think in order to be truly successful, you need one of those big platforms. If you look online, if you look up the Real Pro Wrestling YouTube videos, there's some classic ones with DC and King Mo. They tried this. And I would urge everyone involved, whether it's those three gentlemen or anyone behind the scenes, like those who do not learn from history are doomed to repeat it. What did we say about GFL? And I'm not suggesting this is going to happen to them, but definitely read up, watch, learn, speak to those involved. Back in the day, it wasn't that long ago, 2002, 2003, so that you don't repeat the same mistakes. But it's always been a very interesting thing. Like, you see how popular collegiate wrestling, it's a very niche thing, Olympic wrestling, amateur wrestling, and they'll have the championships and they'll sell out. They sold out Wells Fargo Center in Philly back in March, but it never took that next step. And so most of those guys have to go either, you'll go to the Olympics and then you'll try to either become a pro wrestler, an MMA fighter, or you just go back to coaching. That's usually the three options out there. But if they could get like the Ben Askrens of the world, or some guys who are connected to MMA and pro wrestling, Gable would be one of those. I think you'll get the casual fans to watch as well. So I'm curious.
Yeah, and getting those names is also the best pipeline to getting more talent, right? Because if I'm, XYZ wrestler, this is a viable path for me. I'm telling my buddies, hey, this could be something for you too. And then all of a sudden it starts to snowball. So yeah, they've got the right elements so far, but I think you're right. Like, the distribution is going to be a very, very important next step.
No secret that Hogan was booed vociferously back in January. I actually thought he was going to kind of like dance around the question. He kind of just owned up to it. Now, whether they're booing the character or booing the guy for what he's done, what he said, what he stands for, I guess is up to interpretation, and he's viewing it more from a character standpoint, it seems like. But yeah, he sort of answered it, and
yeah, he took it pretty head on. He basically said, "I'd rather be booed than not recognized at all." Right? I'm still who I am, and so he's not shying away.
Speaking of pro wrestling, I wanted to mention that one of the most legendary characters in the history of pro wrestling, Sabu, whose real name is Terry Brunk, we found out yesterday, passed away at the age of 60. One of the most hardcore, entertaining wrestlers in the history of the business. Obviously made a name for himself in ECW, Extreme Championship Wrestling, and NWA. This is a photo from an article that was posted today on uncrown.com, an absolute must-read by Phil Schneider entitled Sabu was Sabu until the very end. He actually wrestled at 60 just 3 weeks ago in Las Vegas, WrestleMania week. It's a must-read. And that picture, the previous one that we just showed, is from one of the most memorable moments in his career when he showed up at ECW Arena standing in front of Taz. Can we go back to the previous one? The lights went off. Yeah. Taz is standing in the middle of the ring, and there's freaking Sabu. The place went absolutely insane. And shout out to the great Paul Heyman, who dubbed him the suicidal, homicidal, genocidal, death-defying maniac. One of the great characters. And yes, these are some photos. Throughout his career, he was brought back to ECW, had some memorable matches, programmed with John Cena. These photos from Nick Carp from his last match just a few weeks ago in Las Vegas. Brilliant stuff. The great Sabu. I mean, doing matches like that at 60, golly. He was the nephew of wrestling legend The Sheik, and he began his career in 1985, wrestling in independent promotions around North America, also in New Japan. In 93, he returned to the United States to compete for Extreme Championship Wrestling, where he feuded with the likes of Taz and Rob Van Dam. Then was brought over to WWE in 06-07 when they relaunched ECW. Was a part of the ECW One Night Stand pay-per-view where he faced Rey Mysterio. Just an absolute great, an absolute legend, and very sad to hear about his passing. So wanted to send my condolences to his family. And if you're looking for some classic clips online of some real fun pro wrestling angles and characters as well, look up Sabu. Joey Styles back in the day, Bill Alfonso. Those are some great days in Extreme Championship Wrestling. We will move along now and say hello to one of the big stars from this past weekend. What a moment for him. What a moment for European and Irish MMA. What a moment for the PFL, even though a lot of us here in North America couldn't watch it. The scenes were incredible. PC did a great job of covering it all for us, boots on the ground, from afar. It was a bit of a roll of the dice coming off arguably the best fight of the year and the best fight in PFL's history. Conventional wisdom would say that you run it back right away. The timing didn't work out. He wanted his homecoming. He got his homecoming. He took a fight against a tough guy named Bruno Miranda, and he disposed of him in just 42 seconds. The walkout, the fight, the celebration, the post-fight interview, 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10. It was the type of night that you dream of. So let's talk to the man who was a part of it, who dreamed it all up and put it into reality, the great Paul Hughes, kind enough to join us. Hello, Paul. How are you?
Hi, brother. Good to see you.
Are you flying high? Have you come down?
Nah, I'm on cloud nine, bro. I'm on cloud nine.
You've talked about this. You've talked about this homecoming. You've talked about wanting this and doing everything in your power to bring a big show to Belfast. I would imagine even in your wildest dreams, you couldn't have scripted this, right? Like from everything to the performance itself to the aftermath, this has to be beyond your wildest dreams.
Yeah, bro. I'm still pinching myself, to be honest. It usually does take me a little bit of time for it to sink in. It's almost like everything went too perfect. Like everything just went beyond better than I envisioned it. I didn't expect to knock him out in under a minute, to be honest. I kind of wanted to go out, and if anything, I was trying to start with not too much pressure because I didn't want to get clipped, because Bruno hits hard. So, but look, the left hook it landed, and then that was it. So, yeah, I'm feeling good.
You're a pretty even keel guy, but even in the immediate aftermath, not when you were in the cage, but when you went and spoke with Sean O'Connell backstage with PT, even now, you're so subdued. so subdued. Like, and you spoke about this a little bit with PT about just your activity being center and all that stuff, but it just feels like none of this is getting to you. How is that possible?
I don't know. It's weird. But right before the fight, and I've experienced maybe this in my last couple as well, I've experienced just real levels of calm before it. Now, obviously, when you win, you knock someone out, your adrenaline's you get a spike of adrenaline for sure. But I remember even after I'd done the post interview, obviously I cut the promos and all that, being in the cage just with my team and being so there and so like calm and not like up and down, just like there. It's a weird kind of experience. I think, to be honest, I think it comes from the reps that I've been putting in recently. I mean, that's my 5th fight in 13 months. 4th fight in PFL. They've all been big fights, big pressure, big crowds. I think I'm just a young veteran now. I think it's just I'm very, very comfortable in there, very calm, and I think that is reflecting now in my performances and in my demeanor and in everything that I'm doing, is that I am fully present there. There's the fear is not overwhelming. I'm in total control.
Did you share that sentiment that this was a bit of a risk, a roll of the dice, because God forbid you slip up, that Usman fight might not be there?
Nah, well, I mean, look, every fight's a risk. Anytime you sign to fight somebody, especially at this level, Bruno hits hard, 17-5 kickboxer. Dangerous. Every fight has risk, but without risk, there is no reward. And to be honest, mate, I would have fought anybody in there to get the opportunity to fight at home in Belfast. I mean, that it's literally, I mean, the sort of my dreams have just came true. It definitely hasn't sunk in, actually, now that I think about it. Like, even this is kind of surreal that we're talking about me just having fought in Belfast. I'm just sitting down in my mum and dad's house here in Derry, and it's just like a normal day. And you're saying, oh, what about Belfast the weekend? It's just kind of, it's crazy, mate. It's crazy.
So, to me, it felt like this meant more to you than being, and I don't want you to kind of pick and choose here, but this whole scene, this whole moment, for what it symbolized and what it meant in your career, meant more than fighting for the belt. You would have, if you had to choose between the two, you would have chosen this over fighting for the belt. Am I right about that?
No question. Look, belts come and go, and I don't really care that much about them. I care about what they bring. I'll go to the grave with this. Like, as I always said in the lead up to this fight, that fighting in the SSE arena, which is the biggest arena you can do here in Belfast, that was my number one, and I've done that now. Like, that's ticked off. So I'll go to the grave happy. Honestly, I truly will.
And what about the fact, like, PT was laying out the scene for us? It seemed like a lot of the people there weren't necessarily PFL fans, MMA fans. They were just Paul Hughes fans. Like, they were there specifically to root you on, to support you. They weren't like, oh, hey, the PFL's in town. I would imagine a lot of them, with all due respect, probably don't even know what the PFL is. They were just there to back you. That has to feel unreal.
It's crazy, bro. It really is. Literally just before I came on here, I just put up an Instagram story asking for people to send me like their best crowd reaction videos. And usually how it is, you have, wherever it's at in the arena, you have a section where all your people are sitting. But the entire arena was my section. Like, everyone reacted the same. So it's about what you're talking about. Everyone was there for me. And that is just out of this world. Like, I would not have imagined that this time last year, having just signed to the PFL, that I would sell out the SSE arena, 7,000 people, basically single-handedly. I mean, as you alluded to, like, people aren't familiar with the PFL yet because they've never been in Belfast. It's new, it's the new kid in the block. So they're not that familiar. So they were largely there to just support me. So that was like, yeah, I mean, this moment here, the crowd in the background were just screaming. And on that, I'm actually glad that the camera pointed that way, because where it's pointing is the north tier. And I remember when I made my pro debut there 8 years ago, all of my friends and family were sitting in that north tier. That's why I jumped up on that side. And when I put my head down on the cage, it was just like, I had this like whirlwind of an 8-year experience where it just all came together. Except this time they're all sitting in the same place, but there's 7,000 other people screaming my name, and the Olays at that point, you can't hear it there. the Olays are just going through the arena, and I just took that whole moment in. It was unbelievably special.
Man, are you even thinking of anything in that? Like when you put your head down, what a beautiful scene that is. Do you have any thoughts going through your mind?
No, I'm just when I put my head down because I had that moment as I just said about. So when I put my head down, all I'm doing is listening. I'm just my head's in the darkness. I'm just listening to the ole ole oles, and it's just crazy. But even at that moment, as I said earlier, I'm not like crazy jumping around it. At that point, I'm centered again, and I'm just taking it all in. So it's just like, crazy, brother, crazy.
Speaking of that fight, your debut, it happened on a Bama card, right? I believe it was Bama 28, Park versus Redmond, Norman Park versus Paul Redmond back in 2017. I think it was like a co-pro with Bellator because Rory McDonald was there. You took a photo with him, and here you are, just starting out, eyes wide. You're just happy to be there. You pick up your first win. This is the post-fight interview, and it's wild to watch it all these years later. Here you are speaking after your pro debut in the exact same arena.
This has been years of hard work. I'm 19 years old, people. 19 years old. I'm the future. I am the future.
Well, this was the thing we said on the commentary. A very experienced man, very strong grappler, but from the moment that first knee went in, an incredible flurry of accurate work.
Thank you, Rob.
Here we go. Look at it up here.
Let's see. What was it dropped him? What was the first?
It was the knee first, and then you just didn't let him off the hook. A flurry of incredible punches.
Damn, that looks good. That looks good.
Well, Paul, as you said, just 19, an incredible way to start your Bama career. Well done, young man.
I'd just like to thank my coaches, Davey Patterson, and all my teammates. And I'd also like to say happy birthday to my dad. It's his birthday today, so wherever he's at, happy birthday to him.
What do you think of when you see that?
Surreal. Do you know what? I've always had it, bro. I always knew. I swear to God, I always fucking knew from back then I was going to do something. I swear to God, I thought I was going to be the best fighter, undeniable pound for pound by the time I was 25 years old. I swear to God, I believed it. Took a little bit longer, but I'm going to get there someday.
Man, it's great. Like that kid, everything that he's been through since then, right? Like the handbrakes, the ups and downs, to end back in there at the same arena. This is the photo with Rory McDonald. Today was a good day, 1-0, baby. 428 weeks ago, same arena. I mean, this is the stuff of movies.
Yeah, that was 90 seconds. I got it done that night, and then 42 this night. So there's something special about the SSE arena.
You said right when the mic was given to you in the post-fight interview in the cage. What a freaking promo that was! I mean, a totally different vibe than the one we just showed. The fire. In fact, let's watch that one together, can we? This was magic. Here you are talking to Dan Hardy seconds after the win. I mean, that's okay. You're not subdued in that moment. That is fiery stuff. And so that's how you sell a fight. That's how you get people behind you. How confident are you? And there's the tweet. Thank you, Belfast. Usman, you could get it. How confident are you that your message was sent and that will in fact be next for you?
Yeah, I'm very, very confident. At the end of the day, they have to do this fight next. They have to do it. They have to strike with the iron's hot. Look at the pop that got. I mean, the people want to see it, plain and simple. And you got to make the fights that the fan wants to see. And look, it's going to be the biggest fight the PFL have ever done. It's going to be one of the biggest fights in MMA of the year. And bring it on. Bring it on.
He took to Instagram after to talk about your message, to respond to your message, I should say. Here he is. Congratulations. Good job. We will do it again. But when I say, and prior to that, wrote, man, I didn't even know you were fighting. What did you make of these messages?
well, that's good, you know, saying, oh, I didn't even know you were fighting. I mean, that's obviously cap. So perhaps he's looking through me once again. And if he makes that mistake, he is fucked.
Do you think that there's any part of him that still feels like he's above you? Like it's sort of in his mind charity. Oh, like, I'll give you the shot, but only when I say so, only when I want to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I said that before the last time. You're looking down on me. I could tell by the energy. And I still feel like, you know, yeah, whatever, I got his respect in the last fight. But this guy, he's been the champion for some time. He's still in his mind thinking, the new kid, you know, he got lucky the first time. I'll give him a chance another day. But at the end of the day, he can, as I said, he can delay it as long as he wants, but his time is coming.
There have been a lot of PFL/Bellator fighters who have left. A lot of the Ali guys leaving. Aaron Pico, I think Patchy Mix is going to leave. Kayla a couple of years ago. Any concern that he will try to leave before fighting you?
Yeah, I would not like that. That would not be cool.
No, I know. Is there a concern? Because also, you know, now with Islam maybe moving up, they've talked about, you know, obviously they don't want to be in the same weight class. All right, Islam moves up. Here comes Usman to the 155-pound division of the UFC. I just wonder if there's any sort of anxiety surrounding this. If you've talked to the PFL, if they've assured you, no, we're going to make this right. It's going to happen.
I haven't. Look, because I just fought on Saturday. Usually we'll give ourselves 4 or 5 days before we start talking business again. So I guess we'll find out more whenever Tim and Dan talks to him this week. I can't see him being able to do a runner, to be honest. At the end of the day, there will always be that question mark if he decides to do a runner. He will never, ever get rid of that question mark if he doesn't fight me again. And that is the truth. Like, he could say, oh, I'm undefeated all he wants, but he has to fight me again. Otherwise, his whole career will be questioned.
Do you think he wants to fight you again?
I think that, yeah, look, he's a fighter. I think that, you know, he would prefer a much easier fight, but I think that his team will just be like, no, you have to basically honor yourself and do this again. I think he's got no choice.
Did they give you any indication as to when they want to do this and where?
I can only assume that it will be Dubai. I'm just guessing it'll be towards the end of the year. I don't know any specific dates.
Okay. Could I ask, you know, I hope you take this as the highest of compliments. I feel like you and your signing has been the best thing that PFL has done over the last year plus. It hasn't been the best stretch as far as PR for them. What do they need to do, in your opinion? And I know this is a question for Peter Murray or Don Davis, but just to kind of get back in the good graces of people. In fact, you know, on Saturday, like, I was just kind of looking for the fight here in America, and I was like, holy crap, this isn't airing anywhere? How is this possible? Like, Paul is like top 2, top 3 most popular fighters on the roster. How do you not have this airing somewhere, anywhere? Since then, Don Davis has said they're going to figure that out with the international events, but it just seems like a string of some hits that they've taken. How do they get back on track, in your opinion?
Yeah, look, I mean, that's obviously disappointing. I know that the guys are not going to want for that to happen. There's obviously some technicalities that's making that difficult. It's disappointing that my fight isn't in the US for the US fans to see. I'm disappointed for them not being able to see it in real time. But I made sure that I made it short enough so you could fit it into a reel for them. But you know what? I think that what the PFL are doing, they are signing some of the best talent coming up in the world. Me being a perfect example of that last year. And I think if they keep doing that, they keep attracting the talent like they attracted me. They seen my potential. They invested heavily in me. They let me blossom in their organization. I feel like very, very happy here. I've been treated incredibly well. The staff have all been absolutely amazing the whole time. And that makes me feel good about this all. I'm positive about it. So I think if we keep racking up all the young talent, you know, I think that'll be a good thing.
Your story is somewhat of an underdog story. Do you connect with them because you feel like they're the underdog as well, and there's some pride that goes into like taking on the Goliath?
Hugely. I'm all about fighter. I'm fighter first, ultimately. And I've been treated very well here. I know a lot of other athletes are being treated well. So yeah, I do see it as an underdog story, big time. I think that the more options for fighters out there, the better. I mean, it's that's very clear, you know. And at the end of the day, the PFL are the only other organization in the world that are paying fighters real money. So long may it continue.
I mentioned the post-fight interview. I also loved that you gave your bonus or said that you're going to donate your bonus to a local mental health charity. Can I ask you about that charity and why you feel the need to do that? Why that was top of mind for you?
Yeah, well, look, so I'd done a pre-party, post-party, all of that. Sold like almost 1,000 tickets for them, and all of the proceeds went to charity. So I was already working with a charity for this, sold t-shirts, all of that. Bro, like mental health charities are completely underfunded here in Northern Ireland. Like we have the highest rates of per mental health in the UK, and we're the most underfunded in the UK. And unfortunately, our politicians aren't the best here. So there's no funding directed towards these organizations. They really don't get anything. I mean, if you go to a therapist here, I know people personally who have been in really difficult positions, and they've finally gathered up the courage to talk to a doctor and to seek help. And it's like, oh yeah, we can get you a therapist, but it's going to be 4 months waiting time. Like, what is this? This is impossible. That's could be the end for some people, and I feel very strongly about that. Like, we're obviously a country that's been through a lot. There's a lot of trauma, and just the suicide numbers here are out of control. Like, they really, really are. It's unbelievably sad. So look, it's only a very, very small help me doing this. It's a very, very small help. Like, so yeah.
Well, good for you. Very, very classy stuff. And I saw that you shared a pint with Bruno yesterday, right?
Yeah, that was coincidental, believe it or not. I have some mutual friends with Bruno, so it was always going to be respectful. And then I was just out with my friends yesterday. They all flew in from around the world. We thought we'll go out, find a beer garden, and then who's there is Bruno. So
wow,
it was very cool, very cordial. I met him that morning in the hotel. Very, very respectful. I have nothing against the guy. Why would I? It's just competition at the end of the day. He had a great opportunity ahead of him. Of course, he's going to take it. And, I was the victor that night, and that was it.
Did you train together way back in the day?
I remember I'd done one training session with him at Tiger one time. He was one of the pro fighters, and I was there doing some training, but not like nothing crazy.
Okay. And I also loved seeing you with another Belfast legend, the great Carl Frampton, in the build-up to all of this. Was the stuff that you did with Carl, was that the first time you had ever met him?
I'd met him a couple of times before, briefly, not for long periods of time. So I didn't really know him that well until the conversation. We got a real long time together shooting that piece, and it was such a privilege. Honestly, it really, really was. I'm such a huge fan of Carl. I have for years. Just mostly how, like, obviously his boxing ability, but mostly how he's carried himself. I really looked up to that, and to spend some time with him was really cool, especially outside the SSE. He's the king of the SSE at the end of the day. I'd done 7 or 8 shows, had custom built events for him in Belfast here, and he kind of told me how they all worked. We went to the places where they were at, Windsor Park and Titanic, and told me about how he got it done, and it just got me thinking, perhaps whenever I beat Usman in the rematch, maybe I'll get a custom built venue back here in Belfast.
That would be true. So, in your mind, when do you think this happens? Fall time?
I think I've heard around September, October, there's a show planned for Dubai.
Okay.
That's what I want on that.
And that would be perfect, right? That's in 4.5, 5 months.
Perfect.
Amazing. Delighted for you. Well done. Congratulations. What a scene it was. And like I said, you nailed every single part of it, from the walkout to the fight to the post-fight, the celebration. Everything was just tremendous. Way to get it done. And by the way, what a freaking day for your guy, Tim Simpson, for the Chosen group, right? I mean, earlier in the day, you do that. And then Jack Della, I mean, the guy's flying high. He's got a ton of champions on the stable. Pretty cool to see.
Yeah, well, he's got a good eye for talent, clearly. And what a fight by JDM, fripped me. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
So it'll be Chosen versus Dagestan for the next one. JDM, Islam, myself, and Usman.
That's right. I didn't think of that. That's brilliant.
Yeah.
I love that.
Tag team match.
By the way, any burritos in the celebration?
Oh, I had one. I was blocked last night in Belfast. Went straight down, munched it.
Well done.
Great.
Do we have a sponsorship on the table? Just the black card?
They haven't given me a fucking black card yet. I'm pissed off.
What?
We've started doing, I swear to God. I'm not even sending them this clip either anymore. I'm done with it. In the vlogs I've been putting out every week, I'm bleeping the company name, and I'm still
Wow.
going, but I'm blurring out that I'm eating it.
Now it's like a love-hate relationship.
Look, it's part of the story. You know yourself, Ariel. I've actually been getting into my WWE again recently. I've watched both WrestleManias and maybe some of the mic skills. You know, I've been picking things up.
Now that explains that post-fight interview. That was
here. Well, look, I've got a bit of sauce myself, but I might have stole a few bits here and there for some people.
I love it. I love it. Well, enjoy your time with your family. Congratulations. Well done. Looking forward to the rematch later on this year. Thank you, Paul.
Appreciate it, brother. Always a pleasure to be on here.
The man himself, Big News Hughes, representing Belfast on the largest of stages. And if you haven't seen it, it's on social media. They in fairness, they did put it out literally seconds later. It's 42 seconds. So if you haven't seen the fight, tremendous. I mean, we just showed you the best parts. It all happened very quickly. What a stud he is. And I would love to see that fight. I mean, really, could go down. Right now, if you guys had to vote, what's the fight of the year? That's up there. Bilal JDM is up there. What are we missing? January, February. I'm thinking of the pay-per-views. March. April.
I'm looking for some rankings right now, but for me,
those two are kind of the front runners, right?
Hughes and Nurmagomedov was my most memorable.
Bilal JDM is up there, I would say.
Up there.
Okay, some other ones that are here.
Yuri Jamal Hill was pretty good.
Yuri Hill.
Oh yeah.
Marab versus Umar. Volk and Diego Lopez.
Yeah.
Gaethje and Fiziev too.
Yeah.
I've got Nurmagomedov and Hughes ahead of all those.
Yeah.
At the moment. Yeah, that was pretty.
Ribovics? Is that a crazy one? I'm trying to remember.
I think it's unless I'm crazy, I think it's Hughes. I think it's Hughes Usman and number 2 is Bilal JDM.
Not a bad shout.
Randy Brown versus Nicholas Dalby. That was a good one.
That was actually great. But I don't know if that's fight of the year.
The 5 rounds of Hughes and Nurmagomedov was
RDR versus
ripping.
Bo Nickel?
Well, come on. Why you got to do
Who's
that?
No, but by the way, what did you guys see Bo Nickel saying like all of y'all can like suck it and stuff? I was like, what? Where's this guy coming from?
Yeah.
Spit in your face.
Spit in your face.
Yes.
You come groveling back from
What happened?
I love the heel work.
I loved it too, but it was a different tone. It was a different tone.
Oh yeah.
Do you think that was more in line with how he really feels?
Yes.
No,
Maybe he got upset
Yes.
after.
I think that is how he really.
Or did it just kind of sink in more?
I think he was comfortable with his friends.
Wow.
I think he's just
not comfortable with
I
it.
think he's just flipping the switch. I think it's like the Chael Sonnen, you break the character for the immediate after the fight, you give the respect, and then 2 seconds later you switch back into promoting the next.
Yeah. By the way, if he wins a bunch and already like that rematch will be huge one day.
Good.
I don't know if they'll ever run that one back. Maybe a little bit too risky.
RDR beats Whitaker.
What do you guys think of that one? I like the booking. I like the matchmaking. Makes
RDR is
sense.
getting a rocket.
He's getting a rocket. Main event against Whitaker. Whitaker's been here before, where they put him in against some.
Just 2 fights ago.
Are we on a collision course for RDR DDP?
I feel like there'll be some good shit talking in that one.
I just think the fight would just be absolutely insane.
It would be just like a car crash, right?
Yeah.
Like the way they both fight.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, 2 fights ago, Ikram Alaskarov was like, let's put old Robert Whitaker out to pasture.
That was a little bit of a, they tried to salvage something, but like they put him in spots before where it's like, all right, are they trying to build someone else off of him?
The very next
DDP fight.
The DDP
and the Hamzat Chimaev fight.
Hamzat Chimaev fight, yeah.
All his fights lately,
hell.
since Izzy 2 have just been like,
Rob,
will he,
you take
won't
an easy
he?
one anytime soon?
Who's the favorite in that fight?
Let's see.
I feel like it's got to be Whitaker still.
Right? I mean, he is coming off.
It has to be.
He's coming off the Khamzat fight, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Damn, where his whole mouth got rearranged.
Yeah, Whitaker minus 196, RDR plus 152.
All right. Quick turnaround for RDR, too.
Another
2
underdog
months.
spot for RDR.
Yeah, 2 months, 2.5.
Keep the momentum going. He's flowing.
3 months.
They're basically announcing every main event now except
Except
International Fight Week.
Yeah.
I think we have every main event through.
Till like August?
Yeah, because we got Baku, we got Atlanta, we've got.
Then you skip 28.
We got 318, we got Abu Dhabi.
Right?
I feel like there's probably one the week before 318 that they haven't announced yet.
Just that one glaring hole.
Yeah.
Again, maybe they're going towards
No, UFC Nashville. I feel like, do we have
a surprise card?
Do we have a main event for that one yet?
I'll tell you what we don't have. We don't have PFL Paris. That has been canceled, which was somewhat of a shocker because it has been such a hotbed for them. And they had the Patrice Evra signing, and it just seemed like, okay, internationally, in Europe, they're on fire, but this card, which was supposed to happen this weekend, isn't happening anymore, which is a huge, I think, a huge surprise and somewhat alarming. It sounds like Evra's going to fight later on this year, maybe in Dubai. So he wanted to fight in France or Dubai. He lives in Dubai. So maybe that's the card that Paul is referring to. Would make a lot of sense. Road to Dubai. They've got this whole thing. But yeah, I was very surprised because I thought like they could do no wrong. But they need Cedric Doumbé back. They had something really special with him. Need him back in the mix. I mean, along with Usman and Paul Hughes, you can make a case, well, there's him, there's Francis. We're unclear about, his status. Cedric is top 3, top 4 most popular fighters, and certainly on a worldwide and specifically French scale, he's gigantic. He's a crossover star. French MMA is back with Benoit Saint-Denis coming off the big win. Manon Fiorot loses to Valentina Shevchenko, but that's nothing to scoff at. I'm sure they're very happy that their guy is back on track. Would love to see that original matchup get rebooked, the Joel Alvarez fight. Would love to see that. But alas, we don't know what's next. We'll talk to him on Wednesday, by the way. Do we have any super chats, Frankie?
Damn right we do.
Hell yeah. I do have some breaking news as well. This is not. Oh, goodness. I was trying to.
Say the word, man.
Yeah.
Don't say the word.
I think in the first time in the history of the show, during the Paul Hughes interview, I sneezed.
Yeah.
I've never sneezed in the
Heard you
middle.
twice today. You sick? You got the
no,
Jackman flu?
not at all. Allergies.
You're allergic to work, huh?
Yeah.
Got an eye problem? Can't see yourself coming in?
Allergies are killer this time of year. And then I realized I left my water bottle in the control room.
I can't believe you've gone that long without water.
I know. It's actually kind of scary.
My God. I mean, did you eat lunch without it too?
Yeah, that's scary also. I'm not good with the water. I need to drink more water. I'm told you have to drink like 2 liters a day, right?
Yes. Okay, well, don't drink it so fast.
She should have a water drinking contest on the air.
I wanna be one of those guys who pulls up with like the jug. You know those guys who walk into like rooms with the jug? Not like fire, like workout guys, bodybuilders.
Guys. Yeah, when a guy pulls up with a jug and just starts
like the big ass one.
Out, yeah, you know that guy's.
And you're like, what are you having for dinner? Water.
Protein powder and water.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Jones writes, what brings UFC to specific cities? We haven't seen them here in the state of Virginia since 2020. You should invite Keyshawn Davis back before his title defense.
Yes,
June
7th.
I can't read.
I mean, it's a lot of site fees these days. So
dyslexia.
If you do you really? I don't believe that for a second.
Keyshawn Davies.
If you notice during the pay-per-view, I'm just putting my shoes back on. I was just getting comfortable, if you're wondering.
That's why you were sneezing.
Yes. If you noticed, on Monday, there were a lot of ads about Montreal and tourism and little factoids and video packages. These places are paying for the UFC to come to town. Baku is paying millions of dollars for them to come to Azerbaijan. They ain't coming there if they're not paying. So if you want the UFC to come to town, get your pennies together, get some money, pay TKO, and they'll be there. By the way, I wanted to give a shout out to something right here. This was
Where you going?
Bro sounds sick.
I saw this during the
Grabbing some more tissues?
I saw this during the watch party. I love this. This is an old school Montreal pennant.
That's a New York Rick special.
This is nice. Is this from your dad?
No, I went to a thrift shop
Wow.
I saw it there.
Wait, you
I
mean
got a
other people will
Cavs one.
touch this?
Yeah.
That's why you're sneezing.
But it's legit from like the 80s.
Yeah, this is great.
And,
It's in great condition.
Yeah, I love this.
legit.
I love the
Shout out.
I love the accent
The
aigu
heavy
on the
accent.
E.
I thought that was just a mistake.
No.
Just a misprint.
Yeah, this is nice. Anyway, I like that. I like the Quebec flag and the Canada. I mean, dare I say, the studio never looked better. What else?
Our own 24-inch Dubs wants to say bleed, blue and orange, go
Oh.
Knicks. Sorry, Ariel / bandwagon fans.
Wait a second. How? Oh, you're changing. Oh, I get it. I get
There's
it.
a lot
Okay,
of
yes.
accusations there. I didn't change shit.
Okay. Listen. Nervous. Tip off in 2.5 hours. Got a text from someone, friend of mine at ESPN, asking me how nervous I am. I'm nervous. I'm nervous. Am I confident? Sure. But you can be confident and nervous. Here's my take on the game. Whomever wins tonight wins the series. How about that?
I think that's a fair.
Knicks go up 3-1. I think we got this in the bag. Celts tie and we have to go back to Boston. I think we're in trouble. Golly, man, the Celtic fans, they're so damn cocky. Like they are acting like they're up 3-1. Do you notice that? Come on, boys, dig down
I
deep.
mean, they are the reigning champs. You know, you got a little advantage there in terms of that.
I was so hyped on Saturday. My kids and I, my wife was working. We planned our whole day to be in front of the TV by 3:15 for the 3:30 tip. We exhausted every angle to try to get tickets. Even thought about buying. Thank God we didn't. But we were there. Breen comes on. It's a beautiful Saturday afternoon in New York City. The vibes are like through the roof. We're rocking our gear. My son's got his Brunson jersey. I mean, I'm telling them about this famous game and that famous Garden moment. And holy crap, if we go up 3-0. And like 6 minutes in, we're done. We're toast. Can't make a shot. They're hitting threes. They're cocky as hell. But there's something about Monday night at the Garden. Forget weekends at the Garden these days.
Oh, okay, so it needs to be specifically Monday.
Yeah, Monday nights at the Garden. They're wearing the navy blue unis. I prefer the white.
Wear white at home.
Yes.
Everybody, every league.
I'm with
wear
you.
white at home.
Wear white at home. It's actually funny you mentioned that whoever wins tonight will win the series. I saw a tweet going viral just this morning. How my dad feels saying whoever wins this will win the series. Every time there's a game 4 in a series, it's 2-1.
Yes.
Wow.
It's a perfect representation.
Is this how you feel right now?
Why? Do you think you think that I think I'm cooking with that statement?
You're that guy. You're the.
I would tend to agree. I think whoever wins tonight, I think if you guys go back to Boston 2-2, it's not looking good.
But here's the thing. The thing is, like, I do think it's an astute statement because usually 2-2, we're back.
The most astute statements are described by the person who made them with, I think this is very astute.
This is a very unique one because usually when a team is up 2-0 and then the next team wins 2 straight, it's usually going back to the team that won the first 2. Do you know what I mean? Usually, historically, the team that goes up 2-0 first is the team that was home that has the home court advantage.
Yeah.
But here, we'll be tied 2-2, momentum fully on their side, and we're going back to Boston, where, of course, we've been better on the road than we have been at home. They've been better on the road than they have been at home. Something's got to give.
The only time I heard someone say loser of game 4 being
something's got to
was
give.
Rick. When the Cavs were down 2-1, they lose, they go down 3-1, win a title. Rick said, I feel good. Then they won the title, and Rick is just showering us with the Larry O'Brien pictures.
Yeah, no. I mean, Rick's. I'm not bringing up the Cavs.
No, let's not.
I'm not ready to write them off.
Oh, I am.
He's talking. I think
he's talking about 2016, but
I know. But I'm talking about 3-1. They're in the same spot.
Absolutely cannot come out and like get punched in the mouth like you have the first 3 games.
Yeah.
Got
Can I
to
be
stay
honest?
competitive. Be honest, Jordan.
I'm not comfortable up 3-1. I'm not comfortable 2-2. Not until I see 4 wins in that column will I be like,
job's
it's
not
over.
done, as Kobe
Next
said.
round.
Very, very diplomatic of you. Very.
Yeah,
It's
that's
like
good.
you're an athlete on the team.
No, you know what
Won't
it is
touch the
though.
Trophy.
Yeah.
Job's not finished.
I don't think it's diplomacy. I think it's pain.
Fear.
It's
Period,
pain.
yeah.
It's pain. He's lived through too many years of pain.
All my teams except for the
and now
Yankees.
he doesn't want to. He doesn't want to
All of
open
my
himself
teams
up to.
except for the greatest baseball franchise in history.
Miss me with that. It
Yeah,
drives
Ariel
me
knows
nuts.
pain. Ariel knows pain.
The guy that I work out with, he's like, oh, all my teams except for the Giants 2 Super Bowls. I'm like, bro,
Yes, I'm with you.
please.
I'm so with you.
You're like,
Stop it.
Go
with
fuck
this.
yourself.
Those Giants 2 Super Bowls are worth like 10 Super Bowls. Like
Yeah.
they were two
Those
of
are
the
some of the
greatest
best
games
ones ever.
of all time.
I got 2 Georgia Natties and a Braves World Series. I'm set.
Oh, you're set.
I'm set. I'm all good.
I'm sitting
good.
there watching with my kids. I'm like, these losers. I hate these guys. I don't know why I invested. They're like, why are you so negative? I'm like, you're 11 years old. You're 13.
Give it
God
30
willing,
years,
we'll
kid.
talk. We'll talk when you're in your 40s and
What
you'll
age do you think
understand.
it starts to kick in for them? Like, oh,
No,
God,
they're
this
still
is dread sometimes.
No, because when I was their age, it was 94. I was like, we'll get them back. We'll be back next year. And now I'm just like, it could be another 20 years before we're relevant.
What was 99 like?
99 was the greatest. 99 was some of the greatest vibes of all time. I was graduating. It was the last few months of school. No one goes to class anymore. I had a Spreewell jersey. I had a sweet-ass orange hat that I wore all the time, and it was completely unexpected because that whole season, there's a great book called Still Ballin' by Frank Isola and Mike Wise, where that whole season was a complete disaster. It was the shortened lockout season. They were the 8th seed. They almost didn't make the playoffs. Jeff Van Gundy, there's rumors that they are meeting with Phil Jackson to have him replace Van Gundy next year. The crowd loves Van Gundy. They're chanting Jeff Van Gundy, Jeff Van Gundy. We squeak by. Ewing's breaking down. His Achilles is a mess. They squeak into the playoffs. They go to Miami for Game 5. Houston makes the shot with 0.8 seconds left. They win that game. Then they sweep the Hawks in the second round, which was incredible, playing at the Georgia Dome. I went to Game 3, and then they play the Big Bad Pacers on a Sunday afternoon. And if I could be honest with you guys, we had our grad weekend. Do you know what grad weekend is? Like we all went up north because we were graduating. So this was like our big weekend away, and everyone's mingling, and some kids are doing drugs, and other kids are just like playing cards, and it was just a great time in Mont Tremblant. And we didn't sleep at all. And it was the Sunday afternoon, and I was so tired, didn't sleep. But I was like, holy shit, the Knicks are playing. And I remember kind of being out of it, and then thinking, okay, this is just going to be a wash of a game. This is going to be, and then all of a sudden it's like, holy shit, we're in it. And then they squeak by and they win that game 1. And all of a sudden now we believe, and we win in 6. We win in 6 against the Pacers. LJ gets hurt. Allen Houston does this. Spreewell leads the charge, and then we get killed by the Spurs. Anyway, to answer your question, it was incredible.
Yeah.
But it ended on a very, shitty note.
I think to become
you guys
negative, you got to truly believe a couple times and have your heart just completely shattered.
Shattered. Absolutely shattered.
99 though, you guys weren't supposed to be there, so that you can still...
But then you start to believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Because, by the way, the Spurs weren't the Spurs.
Well, they
weren't. No, the previous Duncan was a rookie, so it wasn't like, oh, you're playing. On paper they were incredible.
Yeah.
On paper they were incredible, but it wasn't like, oh, we're playing a dynasty. We kicked off the dynasty, and so there was a part of me deep down holy shit. All they have to do is hang on.
Who the fuck is we?
Yeah. All they have to do is hang on. In fact, I was in New York during Game 5 when they lost. Spreewell chucked one at the buzzer. The day after they lost, I went on a tour of MSG, and I took a piece of a roll of tape from Patrick Ewing's locker. It was in there. I took it.
Wow.
Yeah, I was very excited about that.
Criminal acts.
Yeah, I just wanted to take something home.
Tape hanging in the house?
He's right here, officer.
What else?
Lastly, Henry writes, Ariel, being in the East Coast, did you watch a lot of the original ECW in the mid to late 90s? Was Sabu one of your favorite pro wrestlers? I would love for you to someday interview Rob Van Dam.
Oh, my God.
Were the boys fans of ECW?
The whole effing show. Mr. Monday Night, Rob Van Dam. I would love to interview him as well. I'm going to go out on a limb and say the boys weren't ECW fans.
I was a ECW hardcore mark.
What?
Sci-Fi Channel, ECW.
Wait. Sci-Fi Channel is WWE ECW. If you're a ECW hardcore mark, you're talking 3 a.m. Madison Square Garden Network.
No, not then.
Or the
TV, when it was on TV.
Yeah.
But I was watching that over anything.
Wait, but are you talking the WWE ECW or the...
No, I mean, I don't know what the... I wasn't in the, pro wrestling business.
Are you going to the Elks Lodge in
Was I
Queens.
going to it?
Yes.
No, I was not going to
Are
it.
you
I
going
was
to
watching
the
on
ECW
TV.
arena in Philly?
Here, let me look up.
Would they not rent ECW like videos right next to UFC like original like when
It,
those
it was
seedier
viewed.
parts of the
Yes, it
store-
was
yeah.
viewed as. Oh, I mean, it was very seedy.
So this is 2006-ish.
No.
How much of it was
Bro,
a work?
Rick, please, I hope no one's listening. You're talking about the reboot corporate ECW. Don't let
That's what I'm
anyone
watching.
ever hear
That's
you
what I'm
say
watching.
this. Don't let anyone ever. Frank, what would this be akin to? This would be akin to like.
This is like the band at the end,
Yes.
and they've switched
No.
out 7 members.
No, you had.
I'm a
because
fan of
you had to
okay,
say,
so what was so
you
bad
mean
about it?
96
Tell
or
me.
97?
No.
That was WWE rebooting it. That was WWE buying the ECW trademark and saying, "Oh, we're gonna make a new ECW."
Wait, you know what? No, this is not it. No, this is not it.
They
Because
did
I'm
have-
seeing it says something here about Edge, Randy Orton, and
Okay,
stuff like that. No,
so-
that was not what I was watching.
Good,
I was watching
good.
Sabu, Sandman,
Good. Okay.
Tommy Dreamer.
Yes, great job, great save. They
Wait,
did
so that wasn't on Sci-Fi at that time?
the reboot was on Sci-Fi. The
So where
old
was I
school
watching
one
it?
was MSG at like 2 a.m.
On
TNN.
MSG
TNN.
network?
Are you thinking TNN?
Maybe it must have been on TNN.
Towards
but that's
the
what
end,
I was
they were on
watching.
TNN.
Yes, that is it.
The national. First it was the Nashville network. Then it was the National Network.
Yes.
And then they.
That's
eventually
right. That's what I
became
was watching.
Spike TV.
Yeah, hell yeah.
The greatest part of the reboot was when they.
Wait, so the reboot is like the WWE wrestlers are on ECW?
Yes, they rebooted it with a pay-per-view called ECW One Night Stand. And then actually Eric Bischoff and others showed up. It was at Hammerstein Ballroom. And to their credit, the event was perfect. Like they did it exactly like an old school ECW event. They brought back some of the old names, the likes of Sandman, Mike Awesome, etc., Rob Van Dam. And it was such a success. It was such a hit that they decided to actually relaunch the promotion. But then over time, it just became like a third brand. It looked like WWE Light.
Okay.
And so we had one of those pictures of Sabu. That was they tried to recreate the entrance, but it was at the same venue as a Raw or SmackDown. It was during the same TV tapings. It didn't have the je ne sais quoi. And then they would have some guys come over like Bobby Lashley. He became ECW. And Punk was there for a little bit. It didn't have the grittiness. If you want to learn about the true magic of ECW in the 90s, watch Beyond the Mat, the documentary. There's a scene in there where Paul Heyman is voicing a promo right next to his mom who's ironing shirts. Like he would do it from his basement. That's how mom and pop the whole thing was. And it was just it was as cult-like as you can get. And what was so great about it was a lot of wrestlers went there in frustration, especially coming out of WCW. Like Stone Cold is the best example. Steve Austin gets released from WCW. Mick Foley gets released from WCW. And they go to ECW to reinvent themselves because Paul Heyman is such a genius. And they get the confidence, they get the mojo, they get the vibes back, they get the momentum back, and then that propels them into the superstars that they become in WWE. So there's a lot of great stories of guys passing through ECW and just absolutely loving it because it was batshit insane, and the crowds were different, the wrestling was different, the matches were different. Anyway, great memories. Sabu, legend. So yes, I did appreciate it. I did love it. I think my memory's there. I forgot even that there was a question attached to all of this. Would exemplify that, and yeah.
So this was
yes would suffice.
there was a period where this was only available to local tri-state area people.
Oh yeah, it would air on MSG. It would air on the Sunshine Network if you had DirecTV. Like it was very.
I thought everybody was watching this because
Nah.
at my school, this is what we were watching. So I didn't realize that this was not that widely distributed.
Oh yeah.
And then I do remember it was on TNN. For some reason, I associated it with Sci-Fi, but I don't think I've ever actually seen it on Sci-Fi because I didn't know any of these WWE crossover things.
Sci-Fi was where it aired at the very end.
Yeah.
When it was WWE Light.
They did the blood stuff
Oh,
the
yeah.
entire time.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know, originally, it was called Eastern Championship Wrestling. And then Heyman took it over and renamed it Extreme Championship Wrestling. And that's where, I mean, it was crazy. Like, the angles were nuts. The freaking kendo sticks and
Barbed wire all
the barbed
day,
wire and
going
the
through the-
explosions and
yeah,
the
the
glass
tables,
and
yeah.
the thumbtacks and the freaking the tables and the chairs. There's one famous scene where all the fans threw the chairs in the ring. Like just absolute madness. And people would talk about like how scary the crowds were. Like just completely scary.
Did wrestlers get like actually hurt and out of commission for a while? Or is it similar to like the movie The Wrestler where he uses like a razor blade to like cut himself to like
100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fun.
Yeah, it was kind of like that. It was very gritty. And there were some guys who were who were a little bit past their prime, but this helped
I
me
saw a video of Sabu versus Terry Funk resurface.
Oh yeah.
Holy shit, man.
I mean, just insanity. I did not know that he wrestled 3 weeks ago. And I looked at those photos that we aired there, and I sincerely hope that whatever that's gruesome stuff at 60 to go through that. Like his body was not in great shape. But that's what he was all about. He was unbelievable. Anyway, I urge you. It's almost like an embarrassment of content up on uncrown.com right now. It's unbelievable. Great article here from Chuck Mindenhall. You can't blame Jack Della Maddalena for ruining the fight everyone wanted to see. There's nothing like a Sunday morning Man in the Hat column after a big show. That Phil Schneider piece on Sabu, new pound-for-pound rankings out. Just came out right now. Pete Carroll mentioned his piece on Paul Hughes. Go check that out. Just dropped. We've got Robert Jackman, Eric's long-lost cousin, doing great stuff on the wrestling side of things. Yeah. Manny Pacquiao is back, going up against Mario Barrios. Who asked for this? And also a tough weekend for the Nottingham sports scene. Forrest losing a heartbreaker on... No, it's not, they didn't lose, but it felt like a loss, if I'm being honest. They ended up drawing against Leicester City.
So what does this mean? Set the table.
There's 2 games left.
There's 2 games left. Last time you said 3. They play once every 3 weeks? What's happening
once
here?
Once a week.
Calm down, Rick.
Yeah, geez.
I need.
What do you want these guys? What are they, machines?
This is glacial.
No.
Like, are we going to find out ever?
It's once a week. It's like a 38-week NFL season.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
2 games left. We're currently 7th.
If they win the 2, are they in?
Okay, here's the thing, though. 62 points. All right? We got a point yesterday for tying Sad Sack Leicester, who's about to get relegated, confirmed, and a rival. At one point, in the 80th minute, we're up 2-1, which means we would have ended with 64 points, which if we would have ended up with 64 points, currently we'd be in 5th in a Champions League spot because there are only 5 spots that go to the Champions League and only a point in back of Man City and 2 points in back of 3rd place Newcastle. They tie, unbelievably so. We drop down to 7th, which is now out of the Champions League, but in doing so, did in fact secure a spot in Europe next year, which means you're either playing in the Europa Conference League, the Europa League, or the Champions League. In a weird twist of fate, if Man City beats Crystal Palace this weekend in the FA Cup final, we're guaranteed a Europa League spot. Why? Because if Crystal Palace wins, they get a Europa League spot. If they lose, they're not in the running. Man City's already in the Champions League Europa League spot, so it would go to the next best team, and that would be us. And so we get into Europa League, which is a notch above Conference League, which is where United and Tottenham are. They're playing in the finals. And amazingly, one of them, whomever wins, either Jordan's team or Pete's team, they're going to get into the Champions League, and neither of them deserve it because they've been shit all year, and we may be on the outside looking in. Nevertheless, to your question, currently sitting in 7th, 62 points, no chance of moving to 8th because that's Brentford 55, 1 point in back of Aston Villa, which would guarantee a Europa League spot.
You mentioned...
This is a little complicated.
1 point in back of
Chelsea. You mentioned Pizzi and Jordan, sad tag teams. We're going to need some help from them because that's who Villa's got these last 2 games.
Also, though, you guys get West Ham, not great. And then you actually, you guys
Well, I was
play
getting
fate
there.
again. Oh, sorry.
I was painting the picture.
Win the last 2 games.
We have West Ham away, but we've been horrible. We've been horrible the last few weeks, so nothing is guaranteed. But then it comes down to the final game of the year against Chelsea at home. Chelsea is in 5th spot. They're in the 5th spot, which is the final Champions League spot. So, all to say...
If you win the 2, you're looking good.
Win the 2 and you're in. If we would have won yesterday and won against West Ham this Saturday. All we would have needed was a draw against Chelsea.
But you
now
gotta
we need
win.
to win 2. And oh, by the way, the great honeymoon vibes of the season kind of came crashing down at the end of yesterday's game as the owner, Evangelinos Marinakis, was seen somewhat arguing with the gaffer, the manager, Nuno Espirito Santo, as the final whistle was blown, which was not a great look. He was on the pitch. They were arguing. Afterwards, a statement came out saying that they were worried about the health of Helwani and all this stuff. It's just not the best of looks. Do it behind the scenes. But he's fiery, and it seems like the Forest fans are okay with it. Hopefully Nuno doesn't leave. There have been some reports of him, I think, linked to Al Hilal or one of the Saudi teams. In any event, it's squeaky bum time.
But it sounds like Jordan's sitting pretty, huh?
No, we all control our own destiny.
Sure.
I think you should feel the best. Tottenham and you really at the bottom. Like, if they were any spots lower, they'd be in a league below next year.
It's unbelievable. Tottenham's 17th.
Yeah, you should feel good. You should feel good. You guys, what were your expectations before the season?
I was literally just going to say that. If we would have talked in August about what our expectations were, and you told me there's a chance that we would end up 7th, 6th, or 5th, maybe 4th, come the end of May, I would have said there's no chance.
I remember there was a video where you said Champions League.
Yeah,
early.
they told me to say that.
Oh.
But by the way, it's still in play. We're literally.
No, but that kind of goes counter to the we're just happy to be here.
No, I mean,
that you're trying to sell
no.
right now.
The video, it wasn't me predicting the picture. Yes. That was to.
No, when you were on the cutting a promo saying
but,
we're gonna.
But this all started last year when we were in Riyadh, and I told Kate Scott, Kate Abdo, this time next year we'll be talking about.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
that video.
Yeah, that's a picture. It's just a picture.
Oh,
it was just a funny caption for a picture. Yes, that ended up being right. I mean, it was
pressure.
Yeah. Let me paint it. Knicks win tonight. You're riding high. Nottingham plays later in the week. They win. You're feeling just as high. You're going to Champions League, baby.
Yeah, I felt the opposite yesterday.
Nottingham.
Yeah.
I butchered that one.
No, it's fine. We knew what you meant. Yeah, you don't have to call it out.
No, it needed to be called out. It needed to be called out. Don't disrespect our franchise.
Knicks didn't show up. Forest loses a heartbreaker. Mother's Day was ruined. I didn't leave the house. I said you
for
guys.
sure. That holiday is all about you. That holiday is all about you.
Yeah, I said you guys figure it out.
Mother's Day was ruined.
I was out. I was done. I was finished.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, it's time to go.
Yeah, man.
We do have. Well, you got somewhere to go.
All right, brother.
You better not.
See you tomorrow.
Peace. We're out of here.
But yeah, I want to tell you guys, tomorrow is an all-time day.
That's the thing. I want to go home, go to bed, so it's already tomorrow.
Oh, I thought you wanted to get ready for the next game. Do a little pregame.
I'll watch tonight.
Should we all go stand in front of that screen outside? Could you imagine?
You couldn't catch me dead out there.
Yeah, my God, crazy. Jasmine.
Woo! Jazz Divizius.
She'll be joining us. Mike Malott joining us.
Woo!
Vitor Belfort joining us. Bill Haney in studio. And the reigning, defending pride of Perth, Western Australia, Giacomo, a.k.a. Don Giacomo, a.k.a. JDM, a.k.a. Jack Della Maddalena, in studio. That's an all-time day right there, guys. Whoop.
Be careful touching
Can't wait.
the
It's a big show.
Yeah, that's a big show.
Looking
Not
forward
to
to
be
that
confused with Paul White.
Wasn't he with ECW for a small stretch?
Cup of coffee in the reboot.
Oh, see,
not the old.
Is the belt going to be on the desk tomorrow? Is that really going to happen?
That's what they said. They
Larry
said,
Obi
and
to
you're
the
like,
UFC
the
belt?
ECW reboot.
Yeah, that's
Not
good.
legit.
Can I kiss the belt?
No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
I think so.
I don't think so.
No, you cannot.
If he brings it in, I have to get a picture with it.
Are you going to wear the same shirt?
This or another Street X shirt. But yeah, I'll be rocking Jack Dilla merch. I'll
Can't
fanboy
wait.
out.
We will be there. Thank you very much to all our guests, Hulk Hogan, Eric Bischoff, Izzy Martinez, Paul Hughes, Aiemann Zahabi, Sean Brady. Thanks to you. Thanks to them. Back on Tuesday. Peace. I'm out of here.
Jazz Divizius.